QT, dressed up and I'm glistening. I'm the gift, don't wrap me like it's Christmas. Want some of yours, you'll know what you've been missing. Feeling like we should get into mischief. Listen, you've been looking like you're down on your luck. Need a girl like me to come through, lift you up. Hold me in your hand, I like when you touch me. Keep me around or you might get lucky. I'ma keep you with the good mood. Keep you up all night. Never, never around you. Baby, this is so vibe. Got me dancing like a soul train. Laughing the whole time. Got me singing in the shower. Baby, are you all mine? Baby, I'm your four-leaf clover. Your rabbit's foot, your charm bracelet, horseshoe. Baby, 777 all wins big money. The tramp over here never see me coming. I was in your back pocket the whole time. A quiet power, a silent gold mine, a big old confidence boost. You never delude. Just know that you'll be winning, cause I'm with you in the building. I'ma keep you with the good mood. Keep you up all night. Never, never around you. Baby, this is so vibe. Got me dancing like a soul train. Laughing the whole time. Got me singing in the shower. Baby, are you all mine? Baby, I'm your four-leaf clover. Your rabbit's foot, your charm bracelet, horseshoe. Baby, I'm your good, good omen. You wanna keep me with you. Keep me with you. You been looking like you're down on your luck. Need a girl like me to come through, lift you up. Hold me in your hand, I like when you touch me. Kick me around and you might get lucky. Baby, I'm your four-leaf clover. Your rabbit's foot, your charm bracelet, horseshoe. Baby, I'm your good, good omen. Yeah, you wanna keep me with you. Oh yeah, keep me with you. Ooh la la. Let's go. Put it in motion. Baby, we're going faster, 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 faster. Seizing the moment. Baby, keep going faster, 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 faster. Speed up, make that thing rough. Foot on the gas till you got nothing left. Let's drive to the top of the mountain and see the view. Let's vibe, looking back on the journey, just me and you. Ain't nobody wanna go slow. Yeah, I was chilling in the past, I was solo. Now that I got you in my life, I'm like, go, go. I be living for the thrill of it, whoa, whoa. I hear you like to gamble. Let's take the road, let's travel. Know I'm a lot to handle, but I wanna go fast with you. Think we can go the distance, although I know we're different. Together we both fit it, so I wanna go fast with you. Put it in motion. Baby, we're going faster, 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 faster. Seizing the moment. Baby, keep going faster, 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 faster. It's like they never even seen us, and nothing will ever get in between us. I'ma ride by your side every season, and if anyone try to stop us, we just speed up. Yeah, always keep it at 100. Top down, pretty face, so sun-kissed. Know it's scary, but I swear I really love this. Big shades on, summertime in London. I hear you like to gamble. Let's take the road, let's travel. Know I'm a lot to handle, but I wanna go fast with you. Think we could go the distance, although I know we're different. Together we both fit it, so I wanna go fast with you. Put it in motion. Baby, we're going faster, 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 faster. Seizing the moment. Baby, keep going faster, 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 faster. Put it in motion. Baby, we're going faster, 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 faster.
Whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. And it's all good. Feel like I'm the big dog, been killing it since tip off. Come with it or stay home, the people gon' feel ripped off. It's only major leaguers in the office. If you giving half of an effort around the rest of us, you'll make it awkward. I'm about that action, not the one you talk with. You better hope I'm not the one your coach gon' have you out here really guarding. It took a lot for me to get here, but I have arrived. I really made it and the haters be looking surprised. Been down before, but now I'm better than I've ever been. Through all adversity, I saw them right now at the whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. Yeah. Okay. They say pressure makes diamonds. That's what I align with, cause the journey I be climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came from the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL.
Looks like the players are ready. Here we go!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series, where today is the weekend that all of our teams have been fighting all challenge season long to make it to. It is our challenge finals. Our top 4 teams in the region for Call of Duty Mobile here in EU are preparing to battle it out to see who at the end of the weekend is the best of the best in the entire region. My name is Glitter Explosion. I'll be your host for this weekend, and we've got to bring our fantastic casters in as well. We've got the boys back on the mic, Ton and Proper, ready to go to dive into today. Ton, we've made it to the challenge finals. EU, I mean, this is going to be a great day.
It is going to be a great day. We got the winners bracket side of things. It's going to be super interesting to see who comes out on top. But yeah, Europe has been bubbling along very, very nicely these last few weeks. Excited to see how it all comes to an end.
Yeah, Proper. What are your thoughts here on today? Do you have any potential, ideas on how some of this could play out?
I think I'll Call of Duty Mobile enthusiasts aside, when we took a look at this Challenger Finals bracket, when we start getting to the nitty-gritty of today, I think we're all pretty much on the same page on how things are going to develop. But I'm excited to see things unfold. I mean, we might see some upsets on some maps.
We've had some surprising storylines popping out of either EU or NA, depending on the day, which teams want to show up. And show what they can bring to the table here competitively. But now it's getting even harder. We've gotten to the point of the competition where it's only the top 4, the best teams in the entire region. So it's going to be a difficult fight all weekend long for these squads. But if you guys are just joining us and you miss any of the action prior, you just want to keep up with what we've got going on throughout the rest of the competitive year, follow us on social media, whether that's X, Insta, or Facebook. That way you won't miss a single second of anything we've got going on. Or you can join our Discord at discord.gg/Snapdragon Pro Series. You can join our community, talk all things Call of Duty Mobile, and of course continue to get all of those updates because we've got lots more in store after our challenge season finals right now are done. Still tons of action to come throughout the rest of the calendar year. So you don't want to miss any of that. But let's start talking about what we've got going on here today. Okay, we'll do a quick refresh because we are now technically at a different stage of the competition. And you guys have been hanging out with us this entire time. So you should know what we just did. We did 4 weeks of our challenge season. That was our top 8 teams in the region broken down into 2 groups of 4 GSL style format. From there, we cut that in half. We now have our top 4 teams in the region for our challenge finals, and 2 days of competition will be them battling out to see who is the best in the region, and it will all culminate in a best of 7 grand finals, son. So even more COD-M.
Oh yeah, big day of COD Mobile tomorrow, especially. Of course, we got NA coming up after this show tonight, and NA tomorrow, EU tomorrow. We got plenty going on over this weekend, and best out of 7 finals, get me in there.
Yeah, right. And also, of course, that advantage for whoever comes out of the upper bracket side of everything. But even more money on the line this time around as well, Proper. We already did the prize pool for the challenge season. Different money, more money for the challenge finals.
Yeah, who doesn't love more cash in your back pocket, right? All the steps in the road to glory all lead to fatter wallets, it may seem, for you to be able to, maybe get a better phone, I don't know, maybe get a better desk, or buy hundreds of hats. I'm not too sure what you decide to do with your prize pool. At the end of the day, it's just nice to be able to see first place, be able to get an extra bit of change in their back pocket.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice little addition there on top of being able to claim the title, the trophy of the best team in the region. But after their performance throughout challenge season, we've now had to slot them into our bracket here for challenge finals. So let's take a look at that, see where our teams have ended up after 4 weeks of competition. And if you were hanging out with us the entire time, then you'll remember it ended up being Animus and Special Suicide Squad up there on one of our matches, and then Exclusive and Vanquish for the other. Those are the top 4 squads in the region, and this is a pretty heavy hitter group of teams here, Ton.
It is. Look, I think a lot of people will be looking towards Animus and questioning if anyone can actually beat them. But I really think there is 3 teams who could go on to win this. Exclusive and Vanquish, absolutely there. Special Suicide Squad, could they surprise us? I'm not too sure. They honestly surprised me getting to this stage. We didn't expect them to get through, and they have now. But the reward is a game against Animus and winners bracket round 1. So all the best and see how it goes. But look, there has been surprises along the way, and hopefully there's a couple more.
Well, we'll be able to show everybody at home why it's going to be so difficult to take on a team like Animus. Like we said, if you guys missed the challenge season and you're just here for the challenge finals right now, this is a really good recap Proper of everything that went down throughout those 4 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. You got 4 teams between the 2 different groups, 8 teams total. S squared plus Exclusive making out of Group A. I guess your head-to-head would be more or less for Vanquish. They had to qualify through the lower bracket, and as Sun was talking about, I honestly didn't have them beating Hexat either, but they find themselves here playing a lot of different maps along the way, a lot more maps than everybody else in this challenge finals bracket. But Vanquish, with that one map loss, or that one series loss to Animus that they had in that opening matchup, obviously wasn't exactly what you wanted versus Animus, but at least you did play them close in that opening hard point. And then obviously the top 2 dogs, your biggest discrepancy, Exclusive did end up dropping at least that one map. It was a crossfire control, which has a lot more severity to it. It was against Exclusive, and we'll explain more later.
Yeah, so it was what we were expecting out of Exclusive and Animus as far as being those top teams in the region, but we did see some really nice pop-off performances, like you mentioned, out of Special Suicide Squad and Vanquish there to earn their way through to being the top 4 in the region. And like you guys saw, it was Exclusive and Animus at the top of each of their groups, which means they play the second place squad from the opposite group that they were in. So that's what you see in the bracket. And we'll take a look at the schedule here as well for what that means for today, because we're going to be starting things off with our Animus versus Special Suicide Squad matchup. Then we'll be moving on to the Exclusive and Vanquish side of things. And like Ton mentioned earlier, we're staying with the upper bracket here today. So we'll take the 2 winners of these first 2 matches, and that will be our 3rd match. Whoever wins that 3rd match will be the first team that makes their way through to the grand finals. And then whoever doesn't win these matches will drop down into that lower bracket. and then they'll be able to fight tomorrow to have one more opportunity to try to make their way through to the grand finals. And then tomorrow will be all about that lower bracket into our best of 7 grand finals. It's gonna be such a cool weekend. We've got really, really good matchups in store, and I'm excited to start talking about them. So you saw the schedule. Let's dive into the first matchup here on the day, because it is that Animus versus Special Suicide Squad, S cubed, triple S, whatever you want to call them here. I mean, let's talk about Animus 10, okay? Give me your thoughts.
Indomitable at the moment, of course, going completely perfect, not even losing a map over the entirety of the group stage, have been the big dogs in Europe for quite some time. But they still need to prove that again. Look, we need to get into these stages. They need to make sure that they do bring their A game. And right from the get-go, you want to make a statement here in your very first game, going up against Special Squad. I mean, this is one of those games you would absolutely expect them to win, and probably comfortably. But again, they have the pressure on them. There's no pressure on the side of SSS whatsoever. You would fully expect them to kind of just be coming into this, see what you can find. For Animus, the pressure is on them to get the job done and get it done convincingly.
And then on the flip side, obviously a very established roster there for Animus, but you mentioned Special Suicide Squad earlier here, Proper. I mean, they're a team that have kind of surprised us throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely surprised us. I mean, making it towards the group stage for one, we're like, okay, you know, we always get a couple teams that make it all the way through with a couple of names that we have not necessarily seen. But especially for that roster of SSS, they have completely blown the brakes off of a lot of different teams and caught them by surprise. Hexad, more importantly, in that decider match to actually qualify for this group stage, they won 3-1. They ended up losing the raid control 0-3. But I brought it up earlier when we were talking about the overall groups. They do have a 3-0 win versus Exclusive. It is that one map loss that stains Exclusive's record going in towards their upper bracket semifinal match happening after this one. But Crossfire is something that you have to keep in mind. It is new to the map pool, and it's actually going to be in our best of 5 series today.
Yeah, I think that's really cool also that we were able to kind of find a new map that slotted in so quickly into the map rotation here. And we'll show you guys what Proper's talking about, because we're going to get those picks and bans pulled up on your screen in just a second, so you can see the full potential series and what it's going to bring to the table. There's that Crossfire that he was mentioning, but we've got the rest of the maps here as well, Ton.
Yeah, it's a fairly standard across the board, apart from that Crossfire. Kurahana's been coming in quite often. I love it for Animus, to be honest with you, as I do with Hacienda. They're a very, very difficult team to beat on both these two maps. Crossfire is potentially the one where you look at for SSS to where they can maybe get something going, but I think it's still going to be super difficult. The task is very much an uphill one here for the side of SSS. I think irrelevant to what the maps are, it's going to be a tough game for them. I think for the side of Animus, though, it's a good opportunity to practice against a team who are relatively decent on Crossfire as well. So we'll see how it goes down, but yeah, I think pretty standard across the board.
I mean, that's something for everybody to remember at home as well, right? Like, we literally just finished the challenge season last week, and we've just kind of kept everything rolling. So these teams have only had a week to prepare from the end of the season going straight into challenge finals. So we'll see what they were able to kind of do with this amount of time, and see who's going to be moving on in the upper bracket side of the competition. So chat, we're going to be doing this all weekend long. Let us know your thoughts as well. We've talked about both these squads. Who do you think is going to be winning the first match of the day today, moving on in the upper bracket, potentially grabbing one of those best of 7 grand final spots? Let us know your thoughts, Animus or Special Suicide Squad, because we are moments away from getting into match number 1. So let's kick off the challenge finals.
Well, thank you very much, Lauren. And there are 12 massive games of Call of Duty Mobile to go on over the next 2 days here, Proper. And I think this is one of the ones that's maybe a little easier to predict. We've got NA, EU all coming up over the next 48 hours or so, if not a few more than that. We go all the way till Monday morning in the UK. We've got a long old weekend. But this one is, as mentioned, one of the easier ones to predict. But is there any kind of banana skins here for the side of Animus, or am I reaching? Am I reaching for that little bit of hope of a good game?
It'll probably be a 3-0, candidly speaking. I mean, I'll call a spade a spade. I'll join you in that, partner. It's just one of those things that, again, like, even when Animus are tested, they are the #1 team in Europe. And although on the international stage, yeah, they are still struggling. Sure, the reacquisition of Marvel in towards this scene only makes this team wiser. I won't say that they're mechanically better than where they were once at with the acquisition of Marvel, but smarter for sure. What he brings in from the team that he was playing with over the past calendar year, you do not bat an eyelash at that whatsoever. And that is something to definitely keep in mind for when it comes down to this Animus roster. You even go back to their one map that was the closest through the group stage, ton. It was a 250 to 224 Vanquish on Arsenal Hardpoint that they forced their hand, that all of Animus had to sit up and play fundamental Hardpoint, and that is not what you want to see. However, I think that if you are SSS, the Hardpoint might be a good place to get your gunny warm going in towards the Search and Destroy. They played it one time. It's against exclusive. In time, they got absolutely annihilated. It was 110, 250. It was not pretty.
Let's see if they can turn things around here. Have they been doing their homework as we head into a Hacienda? I mean, you shouldn't really need to do homework on Hacienda. It's been around since what feels like the dawn of
Go
time.
back to BO4 champs.
We see it every single week on multiple different occasions. But for the side of Animus, it's, you know, one of those games you can't really underestimate your opponent. They managed to get here and, well, all off their own merit. A really good performance to the loser side of things in their group, doing a sensational job to manage to get here at this stage. And I think if you were to talk about Special Suicide Squad at the top of the season, making the side of finals would have been their objective. And their objective right now is picking up some points in the hardpoint. They're not doing too bad on P1.
No, not at all. I mean, you gotta think, like, if your ceiling is set so low and you continuously just shatter through your expectations, I mean, who honestly knows how far this team can go? Chuzo's gonna be the player to watch out for, in my opinion, when it comes down to the special squad. That guy has been absolutely electric as he goes on another 3 spree, will get traded, and the special squad are soaking up a lot of good time. Look at their presence on the map as well, ton. They already are hoarding the rotation over towards new. They got the well spawns, they got players inside of lobby.
I need a good time here. Animus are doing well just to contest it, but only momentarily. As you mentioned, these spawns over towards P2, looking good for the Special Suicide Squad. That's a little bit more like it. Animus are going to be able to pick up the remaining scrap time, and it is now going to be about trying to hold this down through this push that's going to come via the water side. Caruso can find 2. He's had a really good start. Doesn't quite find the 3rd, though. Kyra is there to pick up the pieces. Shark is alongside of him. The break comes just like that. Have to be careful of the spawns, though. Keep an eye on them now. A couple of players spawn over towards car park side, so a momentary pinch setup for the side of SSS, but they're on a swivel. Shark trying to have a look around if they can find it as well. Says Marvel, Gadilla combining well. The first amount of time that we're going to really see significantly from the side of Animus.
That was such a weird split spawn came through. The mini-map was quite suggestive. Caruso, player number 4 in blue, had no idea which way to look, but actually enacts the pinch and keeps it scrappy. Nice little drop down for Shark. We'll find 2. Marvel's on cleanup duty in towards the back. Will get traded, but that's a really good bounce back coming from Animus, as they have been undeniable on this P2 so far. That is 40+ points just on this hill alone.
You do often see these really top teams find a nice break early on over towards P2, and they find the majority of the time because of it. SSS now just licking their wounds and heading over towards the fences. A lot of utility being used, though, from the side of Animus to try and break them before the hill even kicks off. 4 operators available on the side of Animus. I would imagine we're going to see some of them coming in. SSS Chuso is actually going to call in the War Machine. Does find a couple with it, but Kairu, just as effective with the USS 9, does get taken down eventually, so a bit of a 50-50 so far. Close to spawn to the side of Animus. Can they find a way through, though?
Got back spawns for Animus. Might need to start pulling out some operators here. Here comes the Death Machine on top of the Sparrow. That should be enough explosivity to maybe try to break back through, but Omeri, Equalizer in the corner of 10, keeping them honest, but Guthilla is still hanging around the joint.
Does well. Death Machine in hand, can only find a couple. He was able to find those equalizers, but ultimately they are slowed down. It's been a nice hold from the Suicide Squad right now. Caruso, though, just through the fence, and all of a sudden they're lit up. Everybody dead once again. Animus struggling to find a break back through. Marvel can't find the gunfight. Feels a little 1-by-1 from the side of Animus, who will have to lick their wounds and move over towards P4. Really, really nice hold from the Special Suicide Squad. They're only going to be a few points away by the time we head over towards Rock.
And it's the biggest difference in that P1, right? Otherwise, this entire lead probably would have been closer to 30, you'd reckon, but you rotate over towards the Rock Hill. This is where you can possibly get another full 60, if not closer to it if you are Animus. Really good setup. Got Shark inside of the Garage Hill. Just making sure that nobody can flank all the way through, but the setup's around the back of the boathouse.
Gravity Vortex gun is out, and that is just going to zone players off. These small choke points, it's the perfect time to use it. And all of a sudden, it makes it a little bit more difficult for SSS, but maybe not. Chuso, Amari, inside of the point, they find the break. And I'm going to say already, this is looking a lot better than I considered it might. Animus are struggling to hold down some of these hills, and Special Suicide Squad are finding that punching power. Githilla and Co. just trying to find a way to shut down Chuso, who right now is on a spree. It gets 6 in a row from him. Moby now, of course, has the Gravity Vortex gun out, but that is tough. Oh my word. He was on a horrendous spree, and well, Special Suicide Squad still holding it down. Underkiller drone working in the other way, but that kill feed looks one way and one way only. This is a very tight game heading into the second rotation.
I just call it what it is. It's 844, 88 to 88. It's dead hot game, man. Going back in towards P1. Team in blue looking really good right now. I mean, the Special Squad, through all the rotations, they got broken really quickly on P2, but when the operators came online and push came to shove, it's a really good fundamental Call of Duty Mobile being played right now out of Special Squad as they're back towards their old ways at the beginning of the set of hills. Upper hallways control first, get the time second, but Animus trying to rectify their woes within that first split.
And if you look at it as well, the slaying side of things, that's where you can see Animus really blow some teams out of the water. Yeah, SSS are very much with them. Caruso just having a very good game. Him and Chuso are very much one by one against each other. I think Moby's the only one who's even slightly lacking behind, but even at that, sitting at 10 over the half is not too bad. You compare it on the other side, Shark hasn't necessarily got things going, but Marvel has. That's 24 to his name. He's the one that's trying to drag Animus over the finish line here, which is still quite some distance away. 13 seconds to go over towards P1, that P2 rotation again. And, you know, if Special Suicide Squad can clean up on this P2, things could be looking a lot better than they did in the first rotation.
It's all just got to be the first wave of gunfights. That's when they got broken up early. The difference in between the first and second sets is now they have operators to try to hold on 3 strong. War Machine for Chuzo might need to get popped. The first few gunfights is going to be good, and Chuzo pops the War Machine. The first break is good. Or it's actually denied. But look at the spawns. Animus actually get the well spawns, and yeah, SSS are going to be able to pick back up on that, and Animus are going to have to pull some operators maybe just try to break through.
I mean, the operators are kind of working out in the favor of side of SSS. Can you find this kill? Yes, you can. Murray still has the equalizers going, if only momentarily. And then the kills are starting to filter over towards the side of Animus now, though. Eventually they will invest and they will get rewarded for it. 30 seconds or so to go here over towards P2. Oh, that's going to be a huge Gravity Vortex gun. Yeah, finds 2. Kairu just shuts down that angle immediately. Stays in Co, starting to bring in the operators here. But the thing is, SSS are forcing them to have to use these. For the investment, they are getting a good return. Maybe one of the only people right now in the world. But at the same time, good time for the side of Animus, but they had to use investment for it.
Yeah, but I think that the Special Squad were just a little bit too late to read the room, right? Look how late this rotation is. You got 2 players over here. Gutilla was here with Says. They both died. So Chuzo is able to pick back up for the 2 of them. That's rectifying the situation at hand. You still have 1 player that spawns on the backside of offices, and now Animus are setting up a little bit of a pinch, but all those operators that got thrown out of the window on P2 means that Animus got to do this the hard way. Kairu for 2 needs to find 3. It's not enough to break the spawns. SSS are still in.
Yeah, Gravity Vortex gun pushing down this side. May well find a 3rd there as well. We'll just zone them away. You don't even need to really know where they are. Shark, though, with an angle. Hasn't necessarily had the best of starts here to this series or to this finals weekend, but the rest of the team there to pick up the pieces. Shark now on the spawns. Can he manage to hold a couple down? Yes, he can. Doing his job, and then some. The 3rd not found. But still, staying alive, buttering SSS up. And Animus starting to find a lead that, well, they haven't been able to find throughout the majority. But look at that kill feed again. Just feels like the Special Suicide Squad find a few kills, but then Animus this time have answered back. Really good hold over towards P3 when they found the break. It's looking like they're going to get the rest of it. Rotation belongs to them as well. You're fully streaked out of your Kairu. Animus starting to find another get.
Up to 31 kills. I mean, just solo holding the scrap time more or less with some team assistance in the upper side of the plateau, whatever. Kairu is just about doing everything. 50-point lead, could potentially grow if this break is good from Animus. Setting up through the upper hallways. Gutilla there for the trade. Slides, finds one in the corner, but Mobingly will be there for the trade. SSS are able to hold on, but Animus got some split spawns that they can work with.
Kind of managed to make it work. Just can't allow Special Suicide Squad way back into this one. And they really have used their operator as well. More so on the side of Special Suicide Squad. A prime example there. Shark calls in the equalizer. Gets absolutely nothing. Kairu, though, was so devastating this time around with the Gravity Vortex gun. Can only find the 1. Marvel only finds 1 with the side of War Machine as well. This is going to come down to SSS maybe getting some operators back to try and get them back into it. Currently, don't need them. Amari doing very, very well with the SMG. Can find 2. Chuso is there to back this up. Still contested because Gathilla is there staying alive. But again, Omari, we're finding the equalizers. Not finding a great deal. Big gunfight win from Says. But again, SSS hold it down. Yes, okay, they did have a lead heading into that second rotation, but they really aren't far away.
I need to put a pin in that entire conversation of Omari pulling out the equalizer for all of 12 seconds and only found about 1 elimination with it. So now you got the death machine for Animus on this rotation over towards New. Again, this is the longest operator in existence for competitive Call of Duty Mobile, and it can reap through the upper hallways. Gutilla very aware of that. Now up to a 4 spree, looking for more. You got to slide on him somehow. He's still got 14 bullets in the death machine. Finally runs out, but the damage is good enough for Animus to be over double sentry.
And this was a hill that particularly has went well for the Special Suicide Squad. They're not finding a way through, though. Animus, again, just stepping it up when they need to. They're finding points. They are finding holds. And this time over towards P1 is valuable, considering how well they've done over towards P2 the last 2 rotations. This is a dagger of amount of time for the side of Special Suicide Squad, who are trying to find a way through. Right now, they're barely winning a gunfight. This is a little bit more like it for the side of Animus, but it sometimes takes those moments. Caruso can find 2, but Moby's the only one who can also answer back. 10 seconds to play with here. You'll put yourself within touching distance as we head over towards P2 the rest of this time. But the problem that you've got is Animus are already set up. They've won a couple of important gunfights on the way as well. This could be a full 60, and this could be game over towards P2.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time in the entirety of map 1 that SSS do not actually have numbers on the rotation over towards New. What the spawn from Marvel? P2 wasn't active. He spawns behind everybody, and that causes a lot of alert systems. Animus in towards the time. They just need 20.
It has necessarily, well, been a lot harder than they would have expected. But now operators on the table, still in control of the point. Say's going out to try and find something. Special Suicide Squad need to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this one. 10 seconds for the side of Animus. Big kills coming through across the board for both these 2 teams. SSS do find a way through, though.
They just need 8 points, though. Any operators to be used? No, not online. Caruso's the only one that has one available, so Anima's got to do it the hard way. They're not finding the straight gunfights. SSS still in towards the time.
They're managing to hold these kills as well. They will find them. Caruso gonna bring in the death machine. Finds plenty with it as well. Shock, though, all of a sudden off the respawn can find a couple himself. That's going to be 10 more seconds over towards SSS. They're considering a push in here. There was a couple of players there, and they're not going to be able to win it. Now they don't have the rotation. Special Suicide Squad, I think it was the first time around, over towards P3, held it down. They'll need to do it again here, Proper.
They got the spawns in towards the back. Caruso's death machine is going to be exhausted. Kairu, Shark, Duthil, all have operators. They might need them here.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. It's really going to come down to that.
Oh, no.
Shark gets shut down almost immediately. And if you're Cuban, you need to find a lot more than Shark just did with his operator. On the other side of things, though, Animus combining well with their guns. Chusa will find a couple. It's Caruso alongside of him as well, but inside the point of Animus, you have to go. If you're SSS, can you get there in time? The contestation comes in. The kills not quite going their way, or are they? Stays just about shutting it down, but the contestation is in. Marvel just battered away from it. Can they keep it on it? Caruso's trying to stay alive, but Animus will eventually get it over the line. In map number 1, that was full of trials and tribulations for both these 2 teams, but that was a lot closer than we expected. Special Suicide Squad very much here to play proper.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they had everything going well for them. They came out swinging. Even on that better side of Hacienda, they played for the upper hallway control. They got a good 4-1 trade dead. They got all the points on P1, and they're like, okay, let's play the rotation over turn 2. And then they got broken up like, all right, Animus are coming to play. Hold on a second. But then the operators came online. And we got to see some really good fundamental being played. I mean, in between Chuzo, Caruso, any one of those names for SSS, it felt like the operators were always pulled with a distinct intent. It didn't always feel like that they were thrown by the wayside all willy-nilly just for a combination for the sake of combination, but they were finding continuous value versus on the other side. It felt like the Animus were a little bit desperate at times. I mean, they had such a good plan, so they got punched in the jaw when that P3 came around, and they broke right back in. I'm sure a little bit of scare came through there at the end. I mean, that P2 break all off of the War Machine set up then for Caruso's Death Machine to get the securement of time. It flipped the spawns, and for some odd reason, Animus, the #1 team from Europe, thought we should hit this for 6 seconds of time. You don't even need that little time to win the game. You got to rotate towards New. That was abysmal.
I think probably the theory was just like, oh, okay, we'll surprise them maybe with the last little hits, and then that would pretty much secure the game, I suppose. But I mean, if we're clutching at straws, maybe on the theory of that one, but it's still, for me, I think that is maybe a little bit of a wake-up call for the side of Animus.
Oh, yeah.
But what does it do for the side of SSS? I want to say it probably stings of disappointment. You just pushed the best team in Europe nearly all of the way. Not quite. It still is a 40-point game towards the end of it, but couple of kills here and there can make a big difference as far as those points go. I mean, that's one flurry of kills from either one of these two teams. You pick up 10 or 15 seconds, and those 40 points are then a dead even game. I could have went very much either way. Really good performance from the side of Special Suicide Squad, but not quite able to squeeze it over the line. Animus, 1-0 up.
Look at the stats. Look at the discrepancy of slaying. I mean, you had 82 engagements for Chuzo, dead even. 80 engagements for Caruso, dead even. All of Animus completely outslayed them. And we were still dead even at the end of the first set and basically at the end of the second set. And that's where we started to see Animus really start to lock things in P1 and P2. They were about to close things out. So yeah, Animus are definitely still the slay-heavy team that we know from the European region, but there's definitely a lot of question marks, I would say, walking away from that one around Animus more than anything. But yeah, disappointment maybe if you are SSS, but I mean, be honest, Tom. Put yourself in their shoes, right? Or if you have their phone in their hands, if you're loading up against Animus, you're not expecting to win. There's no way. You've never probably beat these guys a single best-of-5 series in your entire life. But to be able to play them that close in the map 1 on Hacienda, no less, I'm feeling pretty damn confident going in towards what is now a Metro Search and Destroy. Could be very slow pace. You can't get away with aggression as much on this map if you are Animus, so long as the angles are being held. And then the crossfire control. I still got a lot of hopium left in the tank, man.
Let's see, because it definitely is there for me as well, to be honest with you, because that was just so much better than what we anticipated we were going to see from the side of SSS. But Search and Destroy can sometimes be a bit of a different beast. This is going to be a good one for them, though. At this stage, I think if you're Animus, you do need to lean forward a little bit more, don't you? Because that wasn't as convincing as they would have liked it to be. They head into a Search and Destroy here. On Kurohana, of course. Will be the attacking side for Special Suicide Squad. They got lineups and everything. Yeah, I tell you. They're going to cause some problems. Snipers are going to be a big, though. A big point of this game. Opening picks, etc. are going to be massive. And SSS are going to have to be on the right side of that if they want a chance.
The defender cut, gets smoked. Allows Cuban to push up and maybe play a lurk here with the Odin. He's kind of playing off the alarm bells if Caruso is going to be able to find something on the opposite side. Doesn't. He dies, so Cuban's just going to have to play this lurk while the rest of the team tries to force their way over towards A. Shark is playing for a timing over here. Marvel's quick on the rotation. Got a boomstick too.
Slow and steady one from the side of SSS, and they may well be punished for that shock. He's looking for a little more than the one that he found. And Cuban's going to find Gothilla as well, who was on a flank. So all of a sudden, we are in a 3 versus 3. Bombers eventually picked up, and it's only really time that may well be against SSS, but they still have enough of it. Marvel waiting. Shots are ringing out, and that's going to maybe just deter SSS here. But as mentioned, that time is whittling down. 40 seconds to go.
They're thinking about a lurk back through the B connector. Says is still holding this angle with the sniper. Which angle are they coming from? Nobody's rotating. Marvel is still holding over by A. Say's going to need some assistance. Here comes the hit. He has the angle, finds the kill. 25 seconds.
That's just going to back them down. Well, Cuban has actually made a really good move to try and cut off the other players coming over from the A side, but gets caught. 1 versus 2 now for Moby. Timing not on his side. Animus will find round number 1. Kairu with 3.
I mean, like that entire setup play was really, really cool, man. Like the setup smoke, like you were talking about, it covers all of the defender's cut. And then it allows Cuban to get into a position to be able to take down at least one lurking member. If you don't get first blood, that probably looks like a really cool B execute, but tough to see what that might end up looking like. Animus a little frustrated. Look at the execute all the way through B immediately, and you get first blood via a nade. Animus got firm control of this round already.
Have the bomb.
Cathilla and Co just holding tight. As you mentioned, with that advantage, the round is theirs. Well, somewhat to lose. For SSS at least anyway, it's going to make things a lot tougher. Trying to find Kairu, aren't they? You've seen so much utility heading over towards that side. Can't find anything. Marvel. You can find another. And I think especially with Moby, I don't know if he's just watching the flank or inactive at this stage. Maybe a little bit of bad timing in the disconnect, but hopefully he can get himself back into the game. Kairu ringing out shots. If he shuts Cuban down, yeah, I mean, this might be it, but that might be an opening also. 3 versus 4 now, but in the favor of Animus, still on the defensive side. Seems as if now the player in Moby, who stood very still over towards his spawn, is now back up and running. And can SSS make something of this round?
Been gonna slide forward. Actually, just smokes Says there for the trade, though.
Complete the mission.
And the other kill comes through on the opposite side. Yeah, 1v3, not a whole lot of chance here for Mobingly. No bomb, 35 seconds, hoping for a timing with the USS 9, maybe? Is Guthilla? Yeah, he gets the angle. It should be an easy pick, and Marvel just takes it away from him. And I mean, look, when it comes down to Kurahana Metro, you get that first blood, it kind of screams across the entire search area. You're not going to find that immediate trade like it's firing range. They're all just lurking on these very longer lines of sight, and everybody's just kind of trapped around these corners. So either need to see some snap trades coming through from SSS or a well-executed double chow to be able to find it.
Yeah, it's been in those opening picks, haven't they? They've lost first blood both 2 rounds. It just gives the onus over towards Animus. They can control the map so much better. And they're throwing different looks as well, but as are SSS, you're not going to be aware. Shock being here doesn't matter. Gun out of his socks, and Amari does a really good job. Caruso will find a kill, and it's the first blood, and that goes over towards the side of SSS. Now is that going to give them some onus to try and find this round? Trying to be back to way through the middle of the map and over towards B. A is wide open. They're still in a bit of a trap now. Or it was a 5 versus 3. Is now a 3 versus 3.
And Caruso's just sitting here expecting somebody else to chow him over by the B lane. I mean, he was in that little bit of a side hustle versus Says, who's still holding up with the Odin. Execute starting happening over towards A, and Mobingly standing still again. This is just a tough play. He's hoping that maybe he's going to catch somebody through the cut. But they're so slow rolling this. Animus might be asking questions, but both bomb sites very much so defended. We're just sub 60 seconds now.
Githilla was so patient and will find a free kill. Human will get taken down, and Moby was not there quick enough to find the pick, and he can't find it anyway because Marvel's sniper has found him. Caruso now left in a 1 versus 3. Just feels whatever kind of advantage Special Suicide Squad have, which they haven't really had too many of. It doesn't really matter. Animus are finding these clutch moments. They're kicking into gear when needed, but Caruso has actually found himself in a relatively decent position that Says has read very, very quickly. 3-0 now for the side of Animus, dominant so far in the search and destroy.
They found first blood plus an extra, and they just got 3v5 immediately. And in all of the patience that I was talking about that SSS needed to exemplify, Animus are actually doing quite wonderfully. I mean, like you said, Guthilla, one of the most aggressive players we have here in Europe, playing a corner that passively, you don't see too often. So 3-0 goes the score. And SSS need to try to figure out something quick. It's allowing Animus to get more aggressive through the middle of the map, and when Guthilla starts feeling himself, Sharks does the same thing on the opposite side. First 2 kills.
Guthilla got aggressive here. Found some shots in, so the information is there. He knows there's one player towards this backside. I think if he takes down Caruso, this one's all but done. Yeah, Guthilla will find him, so now all of a sudden the pinch has been set up over towards this A side. You can just sit tight if you're the rest of Animus. Guthilla can fill in any gaps through the middle of the map. Now, the problem for SSS is that they've got to clear their lines if they do want to reflight. I'd be extremely surprised if Guthilla doesn't find at least one here.
You know he's lurking here. Chuzo alarm bells. Did he see him on the jumpy? Maybe? Nah,
no. Senses tingling, bro.
That would have been insane. Probably not, though. Here comes the execute over towards A. Got sub 60 seconds. That nade needs a hit. C Says. Gets pushed away from the angle, albeit sub half HP. And you get the read on a Marvel, who's just content with taking the chow.
Oh, he'll go for it. Oh, he will go for it. We'll have a look. Absolutely. Guthilla can find the final kill, and it's 4-0 now to Animus. It just feels like it's almost just programmed into them exactly what to do here. In any situation, they've been getting aggressive, they've been playing passively, they've been throwing different defensive looks over towards Special Suicide Squad. It hasn't been
these reads
standard setup all the time, but yeah, they're reading it really well, and Special Suicide Squad have no answer here. Big hit over towards B, that might be the only option.
I mean, Kairu's so weak. He got hit by every single nade that's being sold at the local mart here on Kurahana. That should be all the information. Mobingly finds one, gets traded, but the execute's still on. Bomb should get planted now.
That was free for Kairu. Finds one, finds the second. The bomb planter dead, and there's a third about to follow. Oh, maybe not quite. Amari, brilliant shots onto Kairu. Now all of a sudden a 2 versus 2, but he did stop the bomb going down crucially.
Bomb needs to get recovered first and foremost. Amari wants somebody to hold his angle. Nobody's going to expect the flank from Shark. Here comes the pinch now with Marvel on the opposite side for the 2v2 retake.
Stun is going to cause some problems, but Amari is going to read Marvel. And now all of a sudden, Shock needs to find the 1 versus 2 in the bomb defuse. Needs to just find somebody, catch someone off guard, but the way that Amari has been shooting, over this round. It's going to be difficult. Chuso will be the first to fall. Wait for his health to come back up. Amari holding the angle. Shark finding it himself as well. Doesn't quite get there. 15 seconds. And Amari with the gunny again. The first round from SSS is basically just down to Amari. Big plays from him.
Oh, absolutely. All comes down to Omari. I mean, look at you got 11 kills between Omari and Cuban, and the rest of their team has 2. Yeah, it was Omari. 100% finds the trade, finds the extra, plants the bomb, then the clutch. Sure, why not? SSS finally getting on the board. Animus looking to get aggressive again, albeit they had that read over towards B. It's the same nades over the top. Iru doesn't get hit, but he's still in the side shuffle versus Caruso on the opposite side. I think with S-Cube getting that information on the opposite side here, Ton, they're looking to take their virtues over towards A, where Shark is playing the angle.
This could be devastating. Does he hold his trigger? No, he does not. He will find the first and gets traded. It's those moments sometimes where you think, would it be worth it? I think the player was actually staring towards him. Caruso still waiting for Kairu and finds the pick, a different angle presented. And that will just give a little bit more of an advantage because Godzilla was probably heading over towards the other side. Marvel doesn't find the first, but does find the second. Oh, the shot on the Cuban is good as well. Pistol out to clean it up, and it's done so well to do so. It was feeling like I was kind of riding up a good moment for Special Suicide Squad here, and it's just all falling apart. Moby now left in a 1 versus 3. I mean, this is impossible. Finds one. Marvel goes for the challenge, says thank you very much. With the snipe play that actually came on over towards A there proper, I really thought that Special Suicide Squad would have a good moment because you seen Cathilla had to stay over towards A, or over towards B, I should say. Didn't want to come and help out over towards A too quickly because of the snipe play that just happened, but then everybody gets gunned and you lose the round. It happens that quickly.
Side swap now. We'll have Animus on the offense. You just need 2. Win things out. Their adaptations on the opposite side of the bomb have been immaculate so far. Let's see what they can do on this side, though, Ton. I mean, Marvel's been a real problem. That sniper, like we saw in that final moment, up to 8 eliminations now, finds the first blood in the opening offense for Animus.
Yeah, 5-1 to the good as well. You only need 2 more rounds if you're Animus. A tricky crossfire control. Potentially could be a bit of a banana skin for either one of these 2 teams, but it's looking more likely that Animus are going to find themselves 2-0 up. Heading into it, Marvel. The slide around the corner, Cuban can barely react. This guy's insane when he's on it with the sniper. It's so hard to get rid of him. He can be aggressive, he can be passive with it, but the shots are crispy every single time.
Up to 10 kills now. Here comes the stun check around the A cot, and it just plays into Says wonderfully, who finds the 2 piece. Wow, I mean, that is just... could you draw it up any better? Like the stun in towards the flank play from mid that got yoinked in the opening. First blood for Marvel. Bomb planted. Last player scouted in towards the back is Chuzo. He's going to get bait and switch, and it is a flawless opening offensive round out of Animus. The Kurahana Metropolis is so damn good. I want more. It's so damn good. I want to go back and I want to just watch all their breakdowns again. That offensive was just so good. I mean, it helped when Marvel finds the first blood plus the extra, flying around like it's nobody's business. But that XQ was so dope.
Says he's going to hit his shots, and he very much did. Caruso and Chuso, though, doing well with theirs. But here we go. Says he's trying to survive now as he does find one through the middle of the map. And we'll still give them a little bit of presence over towards B, but some good aggression coming out from Cuban. That is going to just about squeeze Animus back to where they probably don't want to be. And having to fight their way out from. Marvel doesn't quite get tagged up, but still A4 versus 3 in favor of SSS. Animus still trying to find a way through.
Trophy system towards the back is going to keep Chuzo safe so he can hold the angle on the opposite side. The bomb's still kicked on that opposite side now that Says is dead. We've seen 3v5s, we've seen 3v4s, but how about a 2v4 is a very tough ass. Marvel has to get this kill, doesn't look down low, and it's all up to Shark. 1v4. SSS looking good for their second here, Tom.
Yeah, really good job. Find the opening picks slowly and methodically, make their way through the map. A really nice job to get around on the board, but there is still a mountain to climb.
Defend the objectives.
You need a minimum of 4 rounds just to even just send this over towards overtime. Animus still only need the 1. Nades out from them. It's going to be a big push through the middle of the map. Yeah, Shark is the tip of the spear, as he so often is. Says we'll be able to find one, though, and they are just wolf packing. They are hunting them down. Says has found a second. Moby and Chuso sprinting over towards the bomb site to try and help their teammates out, but they may well just be another lamb to the slaughter. Cuban can find one back onto Says, but Shark is putting the pressure on. Shuso dead to rights, and this one is done. Wow, Animus just run through SSS in this final round. 7-2 is the scoreline in the Search and Destroy, and that was a little bit more like the Animus we thought we would see today.
Yeah, that's what we expected as we go through this highlight package of the 7-2 win for Animus. Look, I think that it's a real testament to what Animus are as a team here in European Call of Duty Mobile. And let me explain. Is that they're very aggressive, slay heavy. Hacienda map 1, they outslayed by like 30 plus kills. Maybe that's probably an exaggeration, but you got what I'm saying. They go into the Search and Destroy, and like they're able to slow things down to a snail's pace. Guthilla just playing corners off the alarm bells. That is Marvel and Kairu with the snipers on 2 different sides. It was lovely to be able to see the adaptations as well. Okay, you want to start getting more passive. You want to play some more set nades. You're opening a lot of the middle of the map. It's just dissection of the information, and it's just made for a lovely spectating experience from the Animus perspective. Maybe not so much if you're a fan of the Special Suicide Squad, but I digress. They had 2 very good moments, specifically from Omari. That's 7-7 and 8-8 out of Cuban. Rest of the team, not really there to play in the map 2 as much as they were in the map 1 ton. But I mean, pick a player to talk about on Animus. Every single one of them played so well as a team cohesively. Their breaks, 3v5s, 3v4, 2v2s, and even in the end, their offensive executes were just so sexy.
Wonderful play from Animus. And it's just one of those rounds where you get towards the latter stages of that Search and Destroy. Special Suicide Squad find a round back, and Animus are like, yeah, 4 men down mid, and let's see if you deal with this one. And they didn't, and they couldn't deal with them throughout the entirety of the Search and Destroy. And that is a 2-0 lead now for the side of Animus, heading into this Crossfire Control, where you would really expect the game to end. But I suppose the Crossfire is one of those that, if you are going to talk about Control as a whole, you wouldn't put it with Raid in the sense that it's played fundamentally. It can be a little bit more chaotic, can't it, brother?
Yeah, it absolutely can be, especially when you're thinking about how you're supposed to get from the A control zone, heaven forbid you actually capture one of the 2 zones, and somehow get past the bus stop and get over towards the B zone, because there's going to be tons of different angles from the defender's sight lines that are going to be keeping you at bay, not to mention how when they do respawn, even if you do go 1-for-1, the defenders, the way that they spawn, actually have an angle to throw nades continuously. So trophy systems need to be on point, and your counter nades need to be even better if you're hoping to be able to win an offensive round here on Crossfire. And look, I mean, my hopium, that tank is well below 5% at this point when it comes down to SSS going in towards this map number 3. But they do have that map 3 win versus exclusive. It was a 3-0, so I don't know. That 10% is really clambering onto the mug.
Well, let's see if they can convert some of that. Well, I don't even want to call it good fortune up against exclusive, but convert some of that ability that they have, that know-how on Crossfire into a game up against Animus here. But hey, it's a difficult task. Special Suicide Squad have definitely shown something over this series. Maybe not so much in the Search and Destroy. The hard point, though, was solid. Can they convert that into something here on Crossfire Control? They're going to need to if they want to stay in the winner's bracket.
Opening break-off is going to be everything, and if there's one thing to definitely take away from the first 2 maps, especially the Hacienda map 1, is the slaying discrepancy that Animus had over SQ. We'll have to see how things get underway as the offensive salvo will bring us over towards A. Nice little route coming through from Omari just to pinch inside of the A control zone. Works out well.
Big push comes through. HSO is something we're seeing a little bit more here in Europe, as obviously in the other regions it has become more and more popular, but we're just starting to see it flirt with coming to the starting lineup, and it's working out for Omari here. Let's find himself with 1 kill. Chuso holding it down with the sniper as well. This is a good start over towards A. The side of Special Suicide Squad and holding as well. Animus having a little look and well being punished for it. Says can find 2. Does get taken down by Chuso, but damage is done. Really, really nice job from the side of Special Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the opening break-off just immediately hit all the way through the A control zone. Building just get firm controlled. You had 2 players from Animus that were inside a bus stop, but those are such power positions you don't want to get away from. And Omari, Chuzo, they completely clean them out. Now they can get inside a bus stop all the way through Delhi and in towards the B zone. That is a really cool transition.
Can they find enough to get through here? Yeah, I know there's a couple of gunfights not working in their favor, but having Moby here is going to cause issue. Yes, okay, he finds that one kill, and you think, well, what's the value in that? Look at everywhere that Animus are looking. It isn't Amari, who's now just found a kill with the HSO. They've opened up the middle of the map. This is some really nice work from the side of Special Suicide Squad. Cairo, did he get the call out? Absolutely not. HSO in your face. Have another one says as well if you want it. Amari working really well here with the shotgun in hand. Marvel going for the jump shot to try and get rid of him. They can try anything they want. He's just going to camp himself up top. This is really nice from Special Suicide Squad. Lives firmly in their favor and in control of B.
Really working on that second segment. Gonna get depleted now. Player number 2 of Movingly, he's actually the player that is pulling so many defenders away, is gonna get dealt with, and it just wasn't enough time for Caruso to be able to work their way forward in towards the zone. So 7v10, got a minute 30. You have 2 different routes if you are SSS to be able to convert this offensive round, by the way.
Oh, life count though. It's got a little scary for the side of Special Suicide Squad considering where it was. This was a winnable round, and now Animus seem to have stretched them back a little bit, but now have no lives remaining themselves. So don't have to quite be perfect here, but the investment of the operators is going to be tempting. Githilla waiting, doesn't find it. Caruso can find one, Chuso with another, and now a 7 versus 3. What was despair is now turned to potential. For Special Suicide Squad, but Says is waiting. A kill should be falling his way, at least one as well. It can find one. The movement, oh, it's not good enough. Chuso finds another. And a 1 versus 5 for Shark, even a player of his ability. Surely this is just not doable. It is not. Special Suicide Squad, really good round number 1 out of them on Crossfire.
Yeah, it really was, man. I mean, just think about the entirety of that opening breakoff, right? They were so worried, were Animus, to try to get inside of the bus station, try to get inside of the deli. For what? You gave up everything to do with the shack and all around the A control zone. That was a really fast execute, and now Chuzo's got a war machine to start things off. Caruso's going to get traded, but that is not the opening breakoff you were hoping for if you are Animus.
Pressure now coming in from Amari. Shark has found 2 though. And all of a sudden this really can't open up. But a bit of an investment coming out from Animus for absolutely nothing. Special Suicide Squad could play Crossfire control across a series of 5 maps. I think Animus might be challenged for the best team in the game. Oh, in Europe at least, anyway. I don't want to say.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Lock in.
Need to remind you of DreamHack Atlanta?
No.
Okay. All right. 20v22. Third segment should be locked. Rizzo, good angle being played, and everybody just leaves the A control zone before it gets locked. So you know what? Forget 60 seconds. Who needs it?
Look to try and get aggressive, and I've been punished for it. Animus gonna have to fight their way out the hard way. Cuban can only find 1. Cairo says working well together though to try and get Animus out, but it's a hell of an aid from Caruso. Can find 2, shuts it down. 1 player over towards this A side may well be able to cause enough of an issue. Moby just trying to keep the rest of them off the respawn. Again, Special Suicide Squad outslaying Animus across the board. Animus have not really been at the races here. They will extend the time. Cuban, yeah, okay. Well, A is just being captured. Maybe spin around, but never mind. Amari should be there to pick up the pieces. Please? Oh, God. Okay, never mind. Marvel Githilla started to combine, and all of a sudden, Special Suicide Squad backed up a little.
Githilla's got another death machine, by the way. He's just bringing on bullets through Crossfire. You look at the life discrepancy, though. 5v11. Should be a defensive round win if you are looking from the S-Cube's perspective, but you never really want to count Animus out. They do have operators to use should they want them.
Says we'll open things up here. Finds another. Oh, this is now dangerous. 4 versus 6. You've got to get over towards the point if you're Animus. Special Suicide Squad are going to put themselves in a better position. Big win from Cuban. Shark's actually going to invest. And there's 2 with the equalizer. Chuso waiting, just try and find a pick. Shark's found another with a hunter killer. And now all of a sudden it's a 3 versus 3. Oh, how is this crumbled? Well, it's because Shark's just found about 5 billion kills in a row is the answer to that question. Finds another. Cairo and Kill have worked this one so well. They know where Cuban is. He should be dead to rights. Oh, quick gunfight. We'll find 1. Second is not going to go his way. Shark takes over and says, fine, I'll do it myself. 1 apiece now between these 2 teams.
What? 4v9? By way of Shark's equalizers is up to 16 kills? What the? Sure. All right, tied up 1 apiece. You didn't capture the first segment of B. So if we're grasping at straws here so far, Special Suicide Squad are in the lead for segments, but the opening break off, golly. They got families, man. That was so decisive. They stopped the A push dead in his tracks.
All of a sudden, though, Special Suicide Squad, well, they can find some kills and then get wiped themselves. Moby. There's a little bit of justice. We'll find a kill over towards that A side. Just a little bit of respite for Special Suicide Squad, who are now going to find a way to fight out of their spawn. Chuso will manage to cross the road effectively well. Kairu, Shark combining well, and this is the kind of start that you're expecting from Animus on these defensive rounds. And now all of a sudden, Special Suicide Squad have really got to go through the gauntlet to even get out of that spawn. Chuso can find a couple, though. He's camped himself over towards back broken and is finding a decent amount of success, but the rest of his team are not.
22 plays up against 15 now. Animus have only lost 8 lives since the opening breakoff, and we're sub 30 seconds. They have the entire map to play with right now, Ton, and you can just tell how simplified they have made this. Finally, if you are SQ, got through the ruins, get through the A control zone. Maybe Amari does have the equalizer pop, trying to hold the angle over by Dumpster. Finds 1, 2 for the third. Why not?
Found a way out. Sometimes all you need in a control. Caruso will find Gothilla, so there you go. Battle lines are being drawn a little bit better for Special Suicide Squad, but Marvel find those 2 in the middle of the map. It's going to slow everything down. It's going to give Animus an opportunity to have a look over towards this A side. They will have a look, and Shark will find more than just a look. It was 1 over towards Amari. Caruso's there for the pickup, though, and that should be A. And an extension of time for Special Suicide Squad to find something on this attacking round. Problem we got, though, Animus are camped over towards this side. You've never really cleared them out for quite some time. In an 11 versus 6, this is a very, very tough look for Special Suicide Squad right now.
Really is. 11v5 should be a defensive round win for Animus, you'd imagine, but we saw something crazy on the opposite side. The difference is Omari is dead, doesn't have an equalizer, and his name's not Shark. So 1v8, not likely. Cuban got an operator as a Sparrow. That's not a 1v8 operator if I've ever seen one, no Ton, and it's looking like an Animus lead in this control. And yeah, I mean, that opening breakoff was the most Call of Duty Mobile control opening breakoff possible, right? Like, you pop sometimes 2 to 3 operators just to win the opening breakoff outright. And it works out really well for Animus to be able to build that life lead. Cuban's going to go down with a fight, takes down Marvel for his wear, but it'll be a 2-1 lead nonetheless. And Animus are back on their mess, if you will, of just being outright aggressive as you have 43 kills between Marvel and Shark.
They've done the business over these last couple of rounds, haven't they? It looked a little more clean, a little bit more like the Animus side that we thought we were going to see. Chuso isn't going to invest the War Machine to kick things off yet. Just ringing out over the top of the road, and, well, does find something. Says, how have you found the second? The opening break for Animus in the end is going to be solid. Cuban will find Says, but takes himself down at the same time there with the Sparrow. An opportunity maybe for Special Suicide Squad to have a wander over towards A and shut it down. They have done momentarily. The nade over the top was wonderful as well. Marvel won't get shut down. So Animus with some work to do here on this attacking side. Good right win here from the side of Chuso. Everybody else, though, trading across the board. It's a pinstripe kill feed, which works out for the defensive team. You look at their positioning. They're in a better spot to try and push Animus back into this spawn. They'll have to pick their way out now if they can properly.
Got really good coverage inside of the ruins. It's going to be player number 1 of Omari. Got USS 9 up top of it as well. They were trying to clear him out, but it's just wasting so much time, isn't it? Animus cannot get out of their spawn. They're trying so hard just to get inside of Kitchen and maybe try to get inside of B, but 50-yard line gets encroached a little bit further. Finally, some kills do come through. Animus down by 5 lives. Need to get on his own. Shark's got an equalizer. We saw what happened last time.
Oh, and he was able to put a nail in the coffin, and there may well be a few more heading into it as well. The wood is starting to split. There's so many nails because it's not looking likely for the side of Special Suicide Squad. Saying that, 23 seconds in for the side of Animus. Shark does eventually get taken down. They do still need to dot their I's and cross their T's here. They have to get a hold of it. They have to extend this time. Big gunfight win coming through from Catella. He can find one. Needs a little bit of help. Doesn't get it. Everybody wiped in what felt like a round that was heading over towards Animus when you see those equalizers get pulled out. I mean, Caesar still in the spawn, trying to cause some havoc. Everybody else needs to find a way out. 7 versus 8. They will stop the time, and they may well get a hold of A here. Amari, though, he may be able to shut this one down. He gets taken down. That was an operator invested. And now all of a sudden, Special Suicide Squad say their win condition is get them off of A and get them away from it. They commit to it. They don't find it. And now it's a 6v4.
I think those last few players probably realize that the map is now fully lost, as that is the guarantee. Animus are now round 5 defense, even if S-Cube are able to hold on in this 4v5. No respawns remaining for either of the two teams of Kairu. Just wants to call games. Got a claw.
Let's see if he can. Still a precarious one for both these two teams, but a 4 versus 2 feels a little more likely that this one is going to be done in 3. Into the closet Moby goes. And then 1 versus 3 now. Gadilla, can he seal the deal? And he can't, but Shark absolutely can. Animus into the winners bracket final in a 3-0 fashion, kind of the way we expected it. But Special Suicide Squad, a shout out to them. They definitely put up more of a fight than we maybe expected as well. A really good performance in map number 1, solid in map number 3. Map number 2, we'll maybe not speak about that. It's a little bit more like the Animus of what we expected to see, and we got to see it in full flow there in the final couple of rounds. Really good job from them. Winners bracket final bout.
Yep, they absolutely are. As we got the highlights there from the map number 3. We got the big old one shotgun. The HSO was really kind of prudent, I guess, in the early salvo for these rounds when you're looking at it from S-Cube's perspective, ton, but it's just the slaying discrepancy, right? Besides that opening round where it was a really cool route that was taken by S-Cube, Animus and their adaptations that we saw from the Metro map 2 and the slaying from the map 1 of Hacienda just put it all together, and they were just able to completely belittle S-Cube. I mean, you knew that the game was definitely headed in one direction when Shark in a 4v9 pulls out an equalizer and then Animus win the round. That just should never happen.
It was his moment to say, yeah, I'm the boy. Just remember that. Yeah. I think it was just one of those... I don't want to say it's an ego thing, but there is definitely a belief in your ability to say, you know what, actually, I can turn this round around on my own. And that's exactly what he did. When did he find like 7 or 8 towards the back end of the round, which secured it. And yeah, that kind of moment as well from SSS was a little bit of desperation, wasn't it? To try and get themselves back into it. Time was on their side as far as it got them off of A, then maybe they could have done something with it. But it did just feel like a hopeful swing in Animus throughout the majority of the series. Map number 1 maybe grazed them. And Animus will ultimately take that one away. 3-0 winners bracket final. First team is in. Lauren, really good performance from Animus, but Special Suicide Squad, respectable to say the least.
I mean, absolutely. If Shark hadn't clutched 2 of those rounds in the control, there's definitely a world where we would have been going to the Apocalypse Hardpoint, and then Animus probably would have closed the series out there as well. But Special Suicide Squad absolutely put in the work to figure out what maps they could potentially do well on, where some of their strengths were. I mean, like you guys were talking about, the hard point was pretty close too in the very first map. So that was a really strong showing on behalf of Special Suicide Squad. And don't forget, they're not out of it. If that's how they play up against Animus, they are very much still in the discussion when it comes to dropping down into this lower bracket. They could be moving on depending who they face off against in their match here tomorrow. And we will find out who that's going to be after we get through match number 2. We're going to be moving on to our exclusive versus Vanquish match next, as Animus will now be waiting in that upper bracket final to see who they'll be facing off against to fight for that first spot in the grand finals. But once again, I feel like we knew the outcome of this match, but maybe just undersold S-Cubed just a little bit, because if that's the type of momentum they have against Animus going into the next match, whoever drops down against them in the lower bracket, I'd be a little bit concerned proper.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're just talking about the wrong narrative altogether, as now Animus have played both S-Cubed and Vanquish alarmingly close on the opening map 1 of a best-of-5 series. But I'm going to go ahead and ride that entire moon into the sunset, Laurie. I think that whoever gets knocked down in the lower bracket, I'm not taking this team too lightly, even if they are names that maybe us as broadcasters have not seen continuously through the Snapdragon Pro Series. Those guys have definitely earned a lot of respect. Fundamentally, the slaying, everything else was at an all-time high for them. I'm excited to see how far they can go.
Yeah, and then, like, obviously on the flip side, no one's surprised that Animus is doing well and moving forward in the upper bracket. That's kind of what we wanted to happen. It's what we knew was going to happen storyline-wise. They are here to get that title, okay? So they're going to be waiting now to see who that's going to have to be fought through in order to get there. So I think we're in store for a really good weekend of some close back and forth matches here. That was a very exciting match one. Congratulations to Animus on moving their way through, but now it's time to continue on with our matches for the day. Before we get into match number 2, though, we're going to give our players a little bit of time to get themselves set up and ready, which means it's time for a little bit of a short break. So don't go anywhere. When we return, match number 2 between Exclusive and Vanquish.
sensational. Everyone wants a piece of this. So beautiful, incredible. Everybody wants to have my life, 'cause this is my life. This is my life. Yeah, this is my life. Yeah, this is my life. This is my life. I know you want my life.
cutie, dressed up and I'm glistening. I'm the gift, don't wrap me like it's Christmas. Want some yours, you'll know what you've been missing. Feeling like we should get into mischief. Listen, you been looking like you're down on your luck. Need a girl like me to come through, lift you up. Hold me in your hand, I like when you touch me. Keep me around or you might get lucky. I'ma keep you with the good mood. Keep you up all night. Never around you. Baby, this is so vibe. Got me dancing like a soul train. Laughing the whole time. Got me singing in the shower. Baby, are you all mine? Baby, I'm your four-leaf clover. Your rabbit's foot, your charm bracelet, horseshoe. Baby, I'm your good omen. You wanna keep me with you. Keep me with you. Yeah, it's not hard to see. There's a pattern forming when you got me. 777 all wins, big money. The tramp over here never see me coming. I was in your back pocket the whole time. A quiet power, a silent gold mine, a big old confidence boost. You never delude. Just know that you'll be winning cause I'm with you in the building. I'ma keep you with the good mood. Keep you up all night. Never around you.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL.
All right, everybody, thanks for hanging with us. Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series, where we are preparing to get into our second match of the day, which means we had to rotate Infinity in here as well. Brody, welcome to the show. Match number 2. I know you got to watch that first match, so give me your thoughts there on the Animus versus Special Suicide Squad.
I am disappointed in the Special Suicide Squad. I saw crossfire control in the map set. I was like, they're going to win a map. It's all good. We see them go 1-0 up. They were in like a 10v5 or something in round 2. I was like, yeah, this is it right here. We're going to see them take a map of Animus. And yeah, they choked that and then got destroyed for the remainder of the control. So yeah, I think to be expected, we'll say for sure. Animus, I think, are the best team here in Europe. So to see them in the upper bracket final is not a surprise. But SSS, they gave them a run for the money.
Shark was not having it. Okay. Shark was like, this isn't going any longer than it needs to go. We're gonna close this out and keep things moving. And that's exactly what we're doing, because match number 2, it's time to start talking about it. We have Exclusive versus Vanquish now in our second upper bracket semifinal match. So Proper, let's start talking about him. Exclusive roster. Give me your thoughts.
Man, where do you want to start with this team? Exclusive, as far as a roster is concerned, has had so many highs and lows over the past, few years of Snapdragon Pro Series. They lose to Queens in the first few stages of this, 2-0. And they have to qualify from the lower bracket just to make it to the next stage. But they make it all scot-free. They lose one map mode combination throughout the group stage, and that was the 0-3 on crossfire control against SSS. But ever since then, they've looked fantastic. I think that's Exclusive roster is in top form. They know that they are still number 2 to Animus, and I think that's a chip on their shoulder that they want to ride into the sunset.
And Vanquish, on the other side of things, Brody, though, is the squad that we were really hoping would make it here into the top 4, into the Challenge Finals, because they've had a really good performance in the Challenge season.
Yeah, they absolutely have. I mean, even before that, right, we go all the way back to Open Finals, and Vanquish were the team that to take out Queens in that final matchup. That was a massive upset, and I think from that point onwards, we knew that this is a brand new Vanquish roster from the one we had last season that didn't win a single map. They look a lot better for it as well. They've made a couple of changes this season. You've got Fahim on the roster now as well. I think Vanquish is a really well-rounded team. With that said, though, I think, while they might well have walked through PBM and RHH, they did struggle versus Animus. I think, they'll play relatively well on the hard point. Outside of that, though, got completely decimated in the search and destroy and control. So from the very small sample size that we've seen, these guys do not match up well versus the top continue and we'll see that will continue to be the case, versus Exclusive or not.
Yeah, these first 2 matches are not going to be easy by any means. So we'll see what they ended up choosing here for those picks and bans and see how that ends up playing out. Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on these, Proper.
I don't have that much time to talk about my thoughts and feelings with you, Lauren, but look, the Hacienda map 1, I think we're probably going to see it in map 1 or map 4 regardless in this best of 5 series. But if you're looking at this from Exclusive's perspective, you're probably very happy about that because Hacienda needs to be better. And I know that they've only played it one time and it was a 250 to 110 versus SSS, but the point still stands. It needs to be a staple going forward. As far as Vanquish is concerned, I mean, I don't really know what best of 5 map set would suit them. So you would just kind of hope that the entire map ban veto process worked well for them for something of familiarity. The firing range is their map 5, Tunisia map 2, you got the Arsenal map, map 4, and the Hacienda map 1. So this screams familiarity. I think it could be their best shake maybe to take a map off Exclusive.
Yeah, this is basically par for the course for me. I expected the Crossfire Control to go because that's the only map that Exclusive have lost, so that's not in the map set. I'm a bit surprised, I will say, that Slums isn't here. This is a comfortable map for both teams, so I'm not sure whether either of them just got it out of there, but I was very much expecting that into this best of 5. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty bog standard map set for both of these two teams. I'm not seeing anything immediately here that jumps out at me to say Vanquish can take this off Exclusive.
Yeah. And we'll see what they're able to bring to the table. You know, we mentioned it before, a week of time to prepare and really at least nail down any small potential mistakes that could change the course of things. But we all know Exclusive want to be in the grand finals at the end of all of this. So I'm excited to see what both of these teams have in store for us. Match number 2 is about ready to get underway. So let's see what these teams got.
Cheers, Lauren. Yeah, time to get into our second match of the day then, mate. And I do feel like this is going to be a lot more competitive. I'll say that much than the first one. I think with the first one, we were very much expecting Animus to roll through SSS. Got a lot of love for that SSS roster, but I think we kind of knew how that one was going to go. With this one, I don't know. I think there's a certain element for me of maybe expecting Vanquish to actually do a little bit better. Exclusive had, I don't want to say a dodgy season, but I think certainly they have a lot more to prove here than Vanquish do.
Oh, yeah. Totally do. Especially with Exclusive. Like, I and I'm sure many others, if not themselves, are still holding this over their heads that they still lost to Queens, a team that is not even in this challenge final. So you really got to think that's got to hold some weight over top of its head. But Hacienda map number 1, we just got done with such a beautiful venue for a map 1 in our first best of 5 series. Let's see who's going to get the leg up in this series, Brody, to join Animus in that winners final.
And we know Hacienda is always a mixy hardpoint map to kick off any series with, so expecting that same kind of mixiness here as we get in towards this one. Never expecting a lot of time to go to either of these two teams, but we'll see whether or not either two teams can do it here. Vanquish will start off pretty strong. The Exclusive wanting to try and take them out of the hard point. This is something I've seen a lot more of in recent seasons. I know it's been happening kind of over towards the end of 2024. There's been a lot more smokes in hardpoint play proper, where teams will be using them to just try and get in and contest time.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, more importantly, when it comes down to this P1, we talk about a really good point of Ingress to try to generate some very early score. If you could try to do that for maybe one of your heavier hitter operators going in towards P2, you're going to be sitting pretty. We've been seeing a lot of teams do that. Years up to 7 kills could be the one to keep an eye on for Exclusive to get that operator early. They've broken back in, have Exclusive. Looking pretty good. They don't hold the rotation over towards New, but that's fine. They got time.
Yeah, these spawns can kind of be janky at times, so don't be surprised if somebody spawns in the back driver, especially as nobody is positioned from Vanquish towards that backside. Gon now looking to make his way out towards the backside of the hard point. Kirby just catch a couple of players off from the rock side. Now Sawo in for a couple of kills, though. Exclusive now managing to break through the front, and this is a bit of a dangerous situation. Yeah, you can put those smokes down, but you can definitely fight this one from the hill itself towards driveway.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Hold it from the front. Break it all the way back from the driveway. Start a little bit of a spawn trap over towards the well. Caesar in towards the corner is going to be able to find himself 3. Players there for the trade, but still being held is Exclusive.
Exclusive doing a really good job right now, holding this time. Vanquish now spawning all the way out towards Spencer's side, and this is where you're going to start to see those operators come out to play. Here for Exclusive, Veer and Sawo bringing the War Machine and the Purifier out respectively. Both of them can cover different angles. The Purifier, good up close and personal. Veer just firing down the driveway, getting all these kills, and there's the kills for Sawo as well. The new kid on the block for Exclusive has been phenomenal this season, and those two operators will hold basically the rest of the time. That is a great hard point here from Exclusive.
Yeah, it really is. Just being able to break back in, holding from the front. Everything that we were saying. Making us sound so smart. Thanks, Exclusive. 79 to 12. Going into the rotation over towards you. Now, this is where you're going to see some operators need to be pulled. Spy, he's been so good his entire career, finds the opening, but still got players that worry about in the front side of 10s being contested.
Exclusive now for the first wave of gunfights. You really didn't want it to go like that if you're Vanquish. You've got 4 operators ready to go, and you've got to imagine some of them are coming out, but it's operator essential for both teams. Tempest and Death Machine now out for Exclusive. Lord of Valley being found between those. Axis will bring the War Machine out into play, though. We'll find a couple of kills. Is that good enough to get Vanquish in? The answer seems like it's no for the second. Vanquish is now going to have to take a different look at this hard point. Perhaps a split coming through here. Blair looking to get in from Platt side. Finds the first, but the second not that great. Immediately traded out. Everything that Vanquish is trying to get in towards this hard point proper is being batted away.
Yep, sure is, man. So all the operators that need to be pulled by Vanquish didn't really have an opportunity to even breathe, because Exclusive, as we've seen through so many years of Call of Duty Mobile in this region, are some of the best, if not the Being able to respond back with operators in kind of the backside of office, not easy to do, but it's 119 to 12. Sheesh. In towards Rock Hill we go, and it's a split spawn coming through from exclusive. Vanquish desperately need to convert this into time.
You cannot keep on giving up these rotational battles right now. Finally, we're going to see an investment here from Vanquish, and their investment hasn't been that great so far. You need to find more value out of the equalizers there. Fortunately enough, Fahim's going to be there with the backup here with the Tempest. Gets a couple of kills, but still exclusive, knocking at the door continually. Fahim now not going to have the Tempest anymore. Spy and Veer now come through for a couple of kills. Veer using the jump up. Can he find any value off the back of it? Through the smoke is going to obscure it enough that he can't actually do anything in this situation. He can't find the kills. He's relying on the rest of the team to do so, but at the very least he is contesting that time. Now the rest of the team on the way here from Vanquish. Spy through for 1 kill. Gon will be able to double up. Smokes now once again being a problem for both of these two teams. It is a constant close spawn from both rosters, constantly trying to find their way through, and in the end, as exclusive find the kills, as Neil finds a couple of kills. Now it's going to be their time.
That sure is. I mean, Vanquish, they roll in, they got operators, they got 7 points. 7 points on a very difficult hill to break in the Rock Hill. When you have operator advantage, Vanquish haven't even sniffed an advantage this entire game so far, Brody. I mean, they've held rotations, sure. The opening gunfight's not great. They're trying to get themselves set up to maybe try to combine a couple operators, shut down immediately. Exclusive are moving across the map in towards P1. Again, you already got operators being pulled. Neil making sure that nobody can get through these narrow choke points, doing a great job at that. It is 140 to 24.
Exclusive just in the driver's seat right now. Vanquish haven't really had much of a look at this game whatsoever. And now exclusive need to try and get some time away on P1. Steal it away from Vanquish, just like they did last time around. Vanquish on their way through. Sao doubling up. Now finds number 3. No, actually gets denied there as Kirby takes him down, but it's okay because the rest of the roster are right there being a nuisance through the middle of the map here. So many different areas in which Vanquish just do not have control of right now, and you are really starting to panic. 15 seconds left on this hill. You're losing the last few gunfights inside as well. Finally, you'll take Caesar out, but the damage is done. 10 seconds left inside that hard point, and once again, it is exclusive in control of the rotation.
Yeah, they sure are, man. Got players looking all over the backside of the well. It's going to be player number 2. That's going to be Spy. Got a Purifier inside of the hill. It's going to be Sawu Neil just playing under the crossover by the Rock Hill. Now you can push up forward. You got chowed over by the boathouse. It's just easy pickings. You lost the spawns in towards the back. Would you even want to be there if you are Vanquish? Look at the operators holding inside the hill.
That's the same setup once again. Caesar this time, the one out with the equalizers. The Purifier will run out of gas, so now it's going to be Vanquish in from the side door. Gon actually find some value for it, but now if you lose a couple of operators, well, exclusive have a couple more ready to go as well. Death Machine now out here for a Spy. Looking down range towards that back driveway. Vanquish are being put through the blender right now. Is that smoke going to be enough to get in towards the hard point? Doesn't look like it is. Sour and Spy combine for 3. Axis slides through for 1 at the very least. And Fahim will survive the onslaught to find his way through for the back 15 seconds. But exclusive, the leaders advantage they have can continue to fly towards this hard point over and over again. They are winning every single gunfight as well. It is so scrappy for Vanquish. They kind of need to just fly at every single hardpoint round, take as much time as they possibly can, because they're getting dominated in this game.
Desperation was setting in towards the, end of P3 in the first set. Now we're back over towards P3 in the second set, and it is 215 to 35. Beer's got a War Machine. He is just ripping them and blowing them out of the fence line. Spawns have flipped. 220 to 35, and if Vanquish cannot break here, the game is going to be done.
Wow. This is one of the most dominant scorelines. I call this as a close game. Doesn't feel like that's going to be the case whatsoever here. Vanquish. I did. I absolutely did lie. I'm so sorry. Vanquish spawning to the one side of the hard point right now. They're not even getting the split spawns that would really benefit them in towards this hard point. Exclusive now. Just keeping an eye down range. Here we go. Investment coming out. Gone. Immediately shut down. Desperation again. Starting to set in here for Vanquish as they fly towards the hard point. Up top, Neil putting shots in through the smoke. Won't be able to land those on towards Gone. Switches to the pistol for the second kill, but towards the hard point, Vanquish are finding value. Sao trying to be a nuisance for the last 10 seconds. Finds 2. Will find the 3rd as well. You can't finish things here regardless of what happens if you're exclusive, but still, you hold that time away from Vanquish.
Well, you can't close it out, but you can't stay here either. If you are Vanquish, you gotta go to new and somehow win the rotating gunfights, which you haven't done all game long, realistically. Better late than never, I suppose. Brian's in towards the time.
Vanquish in. Have to have a perfect hard point. It's going to be really difficult to pull off. Fahim over here. Tempest. find a couple of kills before going down. Axis now with the War Machine and the Death Machine coming out as well, but Spy in for these final few kills. It looks like it might well be done.
All right.
And just like that, you have a moment where maybe Vanquish can do something. They've got a couple of operators on the board and they can get in towards the time. But almost immediately, I mean, they just die. And Exclusive bolts into the hard point. GG's.
It's a shame. And they had the setup and totally didn't anymore. It's got like the P2 in the first set. It was like, all right, here we go. Like Vanquish, they got the back spawns in towards the lobby, making sure that they don't get pinched through Garden, and then they just get annihilated all the way through the front of the hill. And then subsequently, we're down about 100 plus points by the end of the first set. And then going in towards P3, it was like 212 to like 30 at the end of it. So, yeah, it only took, what, a set and a half, almost 2 full sets of hills for us to call game 1. And who you got some explaining to if you are Vanquish, who actually played Animus incredibly close on their opening hardpoint in their best of 5 series, but Exclusive, nah, ain't no way. Funnemies on absolutely all-time high for them. Shots even better. I would even say this much, that this is probably the best that I've seen Exclusive in a fundamental state. Looking. They were always manipulating the map so wonderfully, making sure they got the spawns, even when they didn't have the spawns and they were still holding towards the front. They knew they had the game won, Brody, but they were still trying to make sure that they were playing in towards the spawns. That's a championship caliber team right there.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? You know, we talk about Vanquish doing well versus Animus. It's worth saying that, you know, Animus at one point during that Arsenal hardpoint that Vanquish ended up playing pretty close to them were 237 to 143 up. So they let them back into that game, basically. They were dominating them for the first half of the game, held a massive advantage over them. And Vanquish were not so great at rotations, and I think that exact same thing happened here again, where Vanquish were just not rotating correctly. Just honestly, just the fundamentals not there whatsoever. And that's one of the points I have for Vanquish. You know, coming into this, you need to win the hard points. You need to make improvements from what happened in the mid-season, and they just were not able to do it. So Vanquish absolutely shut out of game number 1. And I said it there. The win condition for me in this series is that Vanquish kind of needs to win both hard points and then steal away one of the search and destroys or the control. That strategy is now out the window. You got to start playing ham in the search and destroy.
Yeah, you really do. And it's just going to continuously be an uphill battle if you're looking at it from Vanquish's perspective. Because, I mean, if there's, as far as a game mode is concerned, and again, we're kind of pulling at straws here, especially from the group stage from Exclusive, in the 2 matches that they played, for crying out loud. Search and Destroy wasn't bad for them at all. I mean, you lost 3 rounds to Special Suicide Squad, which we did see them on Kurhan and Metropolis versus Animus, and they still took 2. I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, man. I don't think that there's too much to walk away from this if you are Vanquish. So I think that we're still looking for narratives potentially. And as we go over towards Tunisia, what they played at one time, they won 7-3 versus PBM. So even more asterisks. What does that even mean? I'm not too sure, but the game mode's been around for quite some time. So you just gotta have it. You can slow things down if you want, but Spy's feeling himself. Probably going to get aggressive, potentially. We know how good Veer is with the sniper as well.
It's worth saying, I was looking forward to seeing what the setup would look like for Vanquish, right? Because they do have 3 snipers on the roster. Kirby was kind of forced into a shotgun role last week, down to the fact that Cuba was playing on this team. And now Kirby's got that sniper out once again. So that answers my question. Whether or not that will actually benefit Vanquish is a different story altogether. But already in towards this round. Vanquish looking for a way in towards A site, and Exclusive are playing this one pretty reserved proper.
Oh, yeah. Just trying to bait out any information, potentially. There's no reason to overextend here. And this goes back to the entire Fundy conversation I was talking about. Like, albeit they know that they're the better team, still play good Call of Duty Mobile. This is a playoff game, and that's exactly what you're seeing. Nades over the top, didn't find anything, so Vanquish kind of forced just to see if anybody from Exclusive will give them a free first blood. Not the case so far.
I think Vanquish are looking for something that Exclusive, frankly, aren't going to give them. Players pushed all the way towards the back of the sites here. Spy is preoccupied with the middle of the cart. Veer now watching the cross, and we'll pick up that first blood. We'll get the hell out of dodge. I will take that trade. Honestly, if I'm Vanquish, yeah, you're a man down, but you don't have site control.
And that bomb planted.
The bomb has been planted.
Where is this retake going to be coming from? Watching the 2 players in blue. Sawu Caesar going to be working the flank. Got a player inside a wine watching that. 5v4 retake. Exclusive do have the numbers here, bro.
That's that flanking play, I think, that Exclusive are weighing on right now. Goal's going to come sooner rather than later. Neil gets in a fight a little bit earlier than maybe expected. Fahim will take that all day long. Caesar, though, with a trade. Now numbers here, once again, for exclusive. Sour finds yet another one. You got to keep an eye on the players towards top winery, though. And now it's just down to 1. Axis, all you got to do in this situation is peek out and stop that bomb defusal. There is the kill. Now just back away. You got 10 seconds. Fizz going to have to get the audio cue to get Axis out of that position. Axis is not taking that bait. He shoulders perfectly. A brilliant play for Axis and a beautiful clutch for Vanquish.
That's exactly what you want to see. Patience is an absolute virtue. I mean, there came about 40 seconds in that opening round that we probably could have heard multiple pins drop on Tunisia over by the A bomb site, just playing the angles. Exclusive still found first blood, but as you were talking about, Vanquish just exploded onto the side, and Exclusive had to give them the area for the late nades that Vanquish still held. Wonderful play there for the time there from Axis. Gives them a 1-0 lead. Now we're looking to up the ante a little bit. Aggression through the middle of the map this time out of Vanquish.
Well, Vanquish here. Got to be very careful about the aggression from Exclusive early on in this round. They've got players all the way pushed up. Axis might have just walked straight under, completely unnoticed. Problem is, the positioning that Exclusive have should be able to keep a pretty solid lock on that B site. Vanquish do not want to be the first ones to move forward. They are waiting for some kind of error from Exclusive. I just don't think it's going to happen.
So now they're going to try to hit through the cut over by B. There are 3 defenders playing this. They're actually going to be more towards the offensive side of anything, and I don't think the Vanquish are going to be aware of this is going to be going down, even if they execute cleanly onto the B bomb side.
Yep, those players still sat in this situation. Might well have taken one player off the side. You want crispier shots, though, if you're a Caesar. Sour is good for the trade, but Vanquish have the numbers to overwhelm. Now you've got to find a way back towards the site if you're Exclusive. Spy for the first kill against Leia. Jump down as well from Via, but he gets taken down. You know where Spy is, and surely he's not long for this world. Has to look in a multitude of different directions. They're affording him a lot of space, but it's all to get Fahim on the flank to take Spy down. And well, that's going to be another round here for Vanquish. Honestly, I think only owing to the fact that Exclusive were not able to win their fights when required.
Oh, yeah. It's always coming down to those like basic individual gunfights, and when you do win the individual gunfight, then you can turn to help out your buddy for the second. Just really good isolation of information coming through from Vanquish, and then they're just slowly stepping through the laundry list on what needs to happen to fully execute on one of these bomb sites. Very clean back-to-back offensive attempts. They're going back towards that round 5, or that round 1 look, excuse me, where they're kind of just lurking around the A area. Round line, Kirby can find a pick, that'd be great, but it's access to do so. The problem is, bro, do you see where the bomb is? Kind of need that.
It's a strategy, mate. It's a strategy, trust me.
All right, my bad.
They'll get that bomb and they'll get it down real quick, pal. Don't you worry about it.
All right.
Seen this before. That is actually the strategy, ironically enough. They are going to go grab that bomb and get it down on the A site. Problem is, Exclusive are wise to it. They're keeping an eye now on the entries towards the site. Fahim will draw first blood in the engagement, though. Caesar down low. They don't expect him. He's not able to convert for a second. It's okay, though, because Spy is, as is Sour. It's all fallen apart here for Vanquish. What do you do now? Leia, you got 60 seconds to get that bomb.
Just not enough time. They not know that the bomb is actually dropped on the A. Okay, no, they have to be aware. Sawu just going to be playing the angle, looking at the bomb. Player's got a USS-9. Have to do things the old-fashioned way. Does have a sniper. Problem is how far back Spy and Sawu is playing on the A bomb site. Got to rip the first cleanly.
Just one of those things that takes a lot of time to actually clear out the site. It's really smart and exclusive part. Sour is watching the cut and Leia's dead to right. So, yeah, I mean, that was a solid effort there from Vanquish on the offense. They had the man advantage. They do even feel bold enough to try and get the bomb down, but it just totally falls apart owing to a great clean play from Exclusive. Now we go into another round here where Exclusive will want to try and take the defense. Vanquish has done well so far to take a couple of offensive efforts here, but this is going to be a hit towards B, and you gotta get past the sniper rifle at the back.
This time around, Exclusive aren't pushed up. Got the information. They're playing them more to the backside of the site. Nade goes a little bit over Sawu's head, and Neil's holding the angle for the first blood.
You're losing these first bloods. If you're Vanquish, you're trying to be forwards, and yeah, there's just too much to handle there at the back line. Sawu and Neil done an excellent job. Kirby on the flank, though. Maybe they don't expect it. If he's quick enough, might be able to catch him off guard. Does for the first, does for the second. Now, Kirby, you got to get the hell out, mate. Minute and 15 on the clock. Does that perfectly. You get a couple of kills, you're starting to chip away.
I thought there for a second he was just going to cook up the nade, and Call round just like that because this 1v3 does not look winnable at all. Got the Odin. And much like how the previous clutch, you got to rip this first player clean. The problem is it's Veer. And he's got the sniper. Sees the angle. Goes for the double dip. Gets the kill. Exclusive answer with 2 back of their own. And I think at this point, the only adaptation is that Exclusive, when they don't find information on the opposite side, they're not taking that space away because they don't know what's on the opposite side of it anymore or what Vanquish are even playing for. They're manipulating the clock and exhausting the first minute just to see what they can find on the map. It's causing a lot of chaos for Exclusive, who this time are getting aggressive. Oh my.
That's very aggressive from Exclusive. Kirby will capitalize on it. So will Fahim. I'm very kind of surprised there that Fahim didn't actually find more value with that little flank, but albeit Exclusive will be very happy with the way that the round started. You find all those kills, you get the hell out of dodge, and now you're backing away. The response from Vanquish, you got to imagine the situation would probably be to try and get control of one of these 2 sites, but they are going to split up. Peculiar situation here. Axis taken down. I mean, yeah, Fahim's going to get a free... honestly, I can't even make heads or tails of this, mate. Fahim's going to go for a long flank here, but he's about to run straight into 4 of these players. Neil is watching this. As soon as he turns this corner, he might actually check it. He should be dead to rights by way of Neil. Yep, he's going to find that final kill. And just a really weird round. Fair play to Exclusive for playing like that, but I really feel like the adaptation should have been better from Vanquish.
Oh yeah, it should have been easier to depict, but I mean, hell, half the reason why Vanquish were able to get away with their first 2 rounds is for how unorthodox they did play. So, I guess Exclusive trying their own foot at that. Back to the aggression through the middle of the map. The nades will land up top. This time, nobody is around. Neil's going to turn that corner. He's going to see a lot of bodies.
Take him down.
Just ran at them?
Yeah, you know what? Neil's just like that sometimes. You just got to live with it. Exclusive have traded out. Bomb site control denied here for Vanquish. This does not look like it's going to be the offensive round that you're looking for. Layer shut out. Kirby with the pre-aim on the snipe will only find 1. Nice double chow from Exclusive to close out that round and their defensive half. Solid on the whole. A couple of early rounds, I think you managed to kind of chuck away to Vanquish, but beyond that, I think they stabilized well.
Yeah, 4 rounds on the bounce. Tunisia, search and destroy. Defensive sided, which made me even more surprising when those first 2 offensive rounds came through as the way that they did for Vanquish. So now we get the side swap. Here comes Exclusive. Ceremonious nades over the top, lands right on Gon's forehead. He is 1 shot. The nade takes care of him. That is an AXQ.
Just solid. Everything perfect from Exclusive there.
Wow.
Vanquish totally removed.
So decisive.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as Exclusive, right? That is not great. Axis? I don't know where that was going. Anyway.
All right.
Could have been better. Vanquish now with no control over the site whatsoever. Fahim looking for a way in. Shots actually pretty good on towards Neil there. Slowly picking away at both sides of the site here. Can you find any more though? No, it wasn't quite expecting Veer up top. Now you got to find a way through. Axis getting cut short. He was looking for the kill. Trade on towards the player that took out his teammate, and now for Leia, you are being peppered up here. There is no entry allowed for you, my friend. 15 seconds left. The best you're going to hope for is maybe a freebie kill or 2, and you're not even going to get that. Sour, the young gun on the box for Exclusive, will draw final blood in the round. Exclusive looking so solid on their executes.
Just cannot make up how picture perfect that entire execute was. Just frame perfect. It's what makes Exclusive just such a deadly force when it comes down to European Call of Duty. So we'll have to see what the adaptation is going to be for Vanquish. Seems to be an extra body on the A-bomb side, maybe. Exclusive were probably aware of this here, bud, and they just are halting it ever so slightly through mid, seeing if anybody from Vanquish are going to overextend. They're possibly thinking about it. But with Axis not seeing Jackal over by the B lane, no nades whatsoever, going to go back to a couple of those early rounds for Vanquish where not a whole lot happened until more space gets taken away. Players to watch out for are probably going to be Sawu and Veer getting active on the map.
This is a little bit different here. You are relying on that first blood. Neil will find it. Now you've got a lot more ways you could play this round. Once you've got that bomb in hand, now the choice has been made. Exclusive, dipping straight away towards the B site. Axis is there, has to do something in this situation. It's your time to go big. You're being faced down by 3 different players, and you can't take any of them out. Now that's B site control, and Exclusive have a survivor over by A as well.
The bomb has been planted.
Bomb planted. It's planted for Veer all the way in towards the back. He's going to watch the flank, but he's going to be able to at least play the timing. You get the information now that Neil is dead, but it's still 2v4.
had to waste time to take Neil out of the plate. Checking the corner. Sour keeping an eagle eye on it. Yeah, won't actually be able to get the blood in the end, will actually. Now just down to Leia. Wasn't quick enough to help out Gon in the situation. He will draw out one player. Actually draws out more than he bargained for. Exclusive. Once again, play that one perfectly. And that is such a beautiful adaptation from them. Being slow on the initial hit towards B, recognize that, hey, we probably could have a little bit more fortune over towards A. They do exactly that.
Defend the objective.
One more round for Exclusive to take a 2-0 lead. What's going to be the flavor of round number 9 out of Exclusive? It's nades over the top of B, nades thrown over top of A. Just as a little bit of a bait, and Vanquish are taking it. They're trying to push back through on the opposite side. I don't think Neil was going to expect to get traded 1-for-1.
But at the same time, very Exclusive are pushing B. They're going to have to deal with the close presence that is Axis. Has a lot to do. Oh, Axis, you got to have better snipes than that, my bud. And Sour would take him out with the prize fighters. Holy BM. Exclusive now, sight control, and Vanquish here will have to retake once again.
Sure will. 3v3 though. Cade, top. What's that land? Oh, right in the Caesar. He was 1 HP. Nobody was in a position to try to deal with that though. Bomb planted.
Vanquish really wanted a kill from that.
Yeah, they did.
Checking out everything now. Exclusive have bunched up around the site. There goes Kirby. Trade's not that great initially. Vahim will take Salwo down. Caesar looking pretty good. Now just down to layout 1 versus 2. And Spy will call game. That was such a phenomenal search and destroy from Exclusive. Time and time again, just played much, much better as a team.
Yep, so it was a 4-2 half, by the way, and a 7-2 score. Let's just put that into perspective real quick. Great first 2 rounds. I'll say that much out of Vanquish, but Exclusive, look. You force these guys to sit up a little bit, you earn their respect, and they start playing some really good Call of Duty Mobile. I think that the entire lights got shut down the moment that AXQ came through. The moment we side-swapped and we saw Exclusive just decisively execute on the A bomb site, you felt like it was truly their game to lose. If the 4-2 side swap wasn't enough to justify that, they were looking really, really good. And they were starting to really dissect what Vanquish were putting together on their offensive rounds, right? It was the slow steadiness that was really forcing Exclusive's hand to get aggressive. Didn't work out more often than not. And then once they realized, hey, if they're just slow rolling over towards A, let's just bum rush to the middle of the map and just completely belittle them before they can even get set up. It worked out well for them. So I think this is everything you wanted to see from an Exclusive fan. 11-5 from Spy, 10-4 out of Salwo, a 7-2 win on Tunisia Search and Destroy, and a 2-0 lead in the series debut.
Vanquish just getting outclassed right now. I said it. You need to win the hard points in this best of 5 if you want a chance, because you might not have one in Search and Destroy and in Control, and that certainly seems to be the case. Once again here, we look back towards that Control, and Spy having a phenomenal game at 11-5. Worth saying, Spy was not on the starting roster at the beginning of the season, I believe. I think he came in later on a little bit. I think he wasn't in for the first game. Both him and Caesar are playing this time around, and that's the right decision. I think having Spy on this team, he's an excellent player. I think you need to have him. More to the point as well, going to give some love to Salwo, because it's not often that you do get fresh blood in Europe. We give a lot of love to SSS for that exact reason. Salwo is another one of those players. I saw him in UECE for Exclusive. He looks solid. Seeing him get here again, just really, really great player, even in Search and Destroy and Respawn.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's nice to be able to see a lot of these players that hold weight with their name of playing with some of the best that we've seen in the region, especially for the Exclusive roster. I mean, talk about a call-up. It's almost like we're talking like traditional Call of Duty, like bada bing, bada boom. You just got called up from Challengers immediately to Optic Gaming. Congratulations. So like it's one of those things that's like really nice to be able to see Salwo's performance continuously get better as well, because it's kind of like reinvigorated the way that Exclusive do play. And you're able to see that across the entirety of the map. Like Veer's getting a lot more active. He's always been one of the straighter shooters that we've had. I'd probably put them up there right beside Marvel, honestly, as far as the sniper AR is concerned in the European region. And that's going to be even more decorated here on the Takeoff Control, the potential final venue of this illustrious best of 5 and our lovely little lunch date between you and me, Brody. It should be an interesting one, especially because of how slower you can kind of play this defensively. But the moment you get in any sort of inch to breathe inside of Control or through launch, an offensive route can get converted pretty quickly.
All right, we'll see. Vanquish have to play this one well, otherwise they are done. They go down to the lower bracket where they will face SSS in a battle for survival. Exclusive would be on their, was it umpteenth matchup versus Animus? I don't know how many times we've seen that in the last few seasons of SPS, but regardless, we'll see whether or not that will happen. Exclusive right now at the start of this game, winning the vast majority of the gunfights here. Although it should be said, they are on defense, so we kind of expect that.
Oh, yeah. Totally, man. Look at the scaffolding push down to Sawu. It's always nice when we gas up a player and then he has like a really good opening break off like that. Thanks, Sawu. Again, just Exclusive making us sound so smart sometimes, man. Doesn't happen all too often. I'm gonna cry. 26v21 though. It's a great opening break off. And now Vanquish are kind of trapped inside of their spawn around launch. Try as you might, you're gonna have to get about 8 kills before you sniff one of these zones.
Yeah, and the only real way out of this situation is to hit that bottom side of the minimap. Get top window positioning and take some of the players out from mid that are being a nuisance, but you just can't even get there. Veer finds a couple of kills. Spike getting involved in the mix as well for a bit of funsies. Exclusive absolutely dominating Vanquish here at every single turn. They might well have found a way out though. Believe it is Veer that's trying to keep an eye on that top side push. He will go down, so now an opportunity here with 23 seconds on the clock for Vanquish to get some progression on the board. And I think that's the idea. Get some ticks. They've got A through. That's nice, but you lose the gunfights. Now the only player that survived in this situation will be Kirby.
Yeah. 19v6. Winnable? 12 sec? Ah, Spy. 4v17. This round is all but lost. I mean, the second segment, maybe. Gifted over. Sawu not feeling so generous. He's not a man with a giant white beard, and he most certainly is not from the North Pole. He ain't giving out gifts. All right, one segment going to be captured and take off control, much like how I was talking with Ton in the Crossfire. I mean, you win that opening break off considerably on the defensive side. You got to see what it means from Sawu. He gets inside of scaffolding. Players on the top side of the map get inside control, and that spawn trap is egregious. I mean, it's not Arsenal egregious, but like it's pretty rough.
Spawn trap is something on this one, for sure. I mean,
It's
just static spawns, just in general, mate. It's how it works here with Control. You only get one spawn, and you're going to like it. Fahim, though, wants to try and put some spawns together as well on his side. That's a couple kills with the Tempers. Make it 3 with the Tempers. Not going to hit the 4th one. We'll just brazenly miss it, but it's all right because who finds the kill with the USS-9 anyway. This has been a phenomenal start from Vanquish. I was kind of concerned that Exclusive would roll out with their operators at the start of this round and perhaps find some offensive luck, but they haven't done that.
No. You're starting to get a couple more operators online for Exclusive. Might need some of these just to fight and combat back into the life discrepancy that Vanquish do have. Caesar with the Equalizer, going to be the first one to start off the opening execute. You also have Veer with the War Machine, and Neil's got the Tempest. So you want to talk about a certain amount of firepower to try to work on this A zone. It is here, but it's only 2 players working on the second segment. Should be locked.
This is not so great for Vanquish anymore. What was this? 27v19, I think this is how this started. Now we're in 15v13 in terms of lives in favor of Vanquish. They've got to get on the point right now. He finds a couple of kills. Sawu takes the last one down that attempted to hold onto it, and all of a sudden A has just disappeared from your very eyes. Now Exclusive an opportunity to transfer over towards B.
I don't even know if they're worried about transitioning over towards B as much as they're worried about pushing through Lounge, and yeah, they're going to at least be gone in towards the back. This is the defender spawn area, by the way, and they're trying to clear it all the way out. Finally able to take care of Gon, who does find 2 for his worth. And now they're trying to push Arnold to the backside of the silos. You got 2 players strong, and good call out of Vanquish. You flip the pressure on the opposite side, but Brody, look at the lives. Well, it was such a great opening breakoff for Vanquish. Now it's 7v7.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Exclusive even have an opportunity here that's kind of disappointing for Vanquish. No mid-map presence really whatsoever as well. Exclusive will take advantage of that. They'll just vault straight through. Death Machine employed by Kirby, almost immediately taken down by Neil, but he will find one before he falls. Now a 5 versus 6. Now a 4 versus 5 as a matter of fact, as Spy trades off the back of Fahim finding 2. Vanquish a slight life advantage right now, but Exclusive have players to potentially do some damage. Spy, one of those players, will find the one in towards the spawn.
3v4, need to play this damn near perfectly if you are Vanquish. You really need this defensive round win. Look at the way they're just postured on the backside of the B bomb side. They don't want to give Exclusive anything. They know Veer's got a sniper in the top side of the launch.
Exclusive have a little bit of time to work with here. 20 seconds. Call has been made. Long flank. Kirby and Layer up top. Kirby gonna get the first kill. Veer with the trade. Layer up top. That should surely be it. A 1 versus 3 for Veer. No solo chows. They shooting him from a multitude of different angles, and Vanquish will survive that round, but that is much closer than needed to be, and you do lose the whole of B in the or A in the progress, excuse me.
Yeah, segment lead will be there for Exclusive off of the only segment that was taken by Vanquish in their opening offense, but much closer indeed. I mean, that opening breakoff, what was it, like somewhere near like 7 live advantage that Exclusive had to fight back from, but they had the 3 operators to do so, and that was my biggest concern. But now you have that advantage. All is in your court if you are Vanquish. Look at all their operators that they have left to play for, but they still got to be worried about Veer. He's top lounge, but on the defensive side, he's watching the control exit, and it's already exhausted so much time off the board.
Surely not. Spy finds 3 just like that. It's 3 kills for free. And now more in the middle of the map as well. If you looked at Vanquish having a solid start of the round last time around, it looks like that is exactly the case once again here for Exclusive. On the deep, doing a solid job.
It's too close.
Vanquish know again, their only route out is through the bottom side of the minimap. And Exclusive don't have that much pressure, but they know where they're going to be coming from. Now we start to see some operators in towards play as well. Gon will pick out 1 kill. We'll find the second now. Vanquish an opportunity to move forward off the back of this. Gon trying to clear a lot of space for the rest of the roster, and he's doing exactly that. There's number 3. Number 4 will be denied, and at the same time, you lose the teammates that you were trying to supply space for. That is not a great sequence of events for Vanquish.
No, it really isn't. Now it's 20v11, staring down the barrel of another full hold potentially, and it's looking likely. 12 seconds remain. Nade's going to bounce right in Spy's face, but he's up to 19 eliminations, 16 for Caesar, 17 now for Neil with the USS-9, top side of the staircase, inside of launch, and now no respawns are remaining. I mean, Fahim, try as you might, got the Tempest out. Exclusive don't even have to chow this. You got to try to take that over towards one of the zones, and they're completely content with giving you all of the space. Oh, it is dirty. 17v1 at the end and a full hold to boot.
Yeah, this is pretty par for the course. For the most part. Exclusive, though, in that round, I think just phenomenal, right? I mean, what was that? A massive life advantage between them and Vanquish. That was pretty much perfect as far as the defensive round can go in control. We'll look at the start of this one, and Exclusive, again, looking for a solid start on the offense that would basically guarantee a defense in round number 5, of course, if they need it, because they got pretty close last time around. First few kills, though, not going their way. Spy going to bring that Predator missile down to create some space, and going to do exactly that. That's going to allow Spy and Veer to run through the middle of the map and put a stop to the clock by jumping on towards A. You've lost the reinforcements, though, coming from your spawn, so now you need to start picking up some of these kills, and Spy will fight for him. Vanquish, you got to start pulling back towards A.
Yeah, they really do. They're so worried about making sure that they got scaffolding control, trying to get inside of launch itself. They're allowing this slow progress over towards A to come through, and Caesar's still just sitting here with the Odin. He just got a player in the bottom side of the scaffolding building, finally deals with him, but now it's Spy to pick things up. The Type 19 ripped. So the second segment was not locked. Sub 60 seconds, and Vanquish got a life lead.
Vanquish's life lead, though, again, it's the kind of the least of their worries, right? I mean, you're more concerned about the fact you've given 1 tick away, and that second tick is going to be through. Finally, they get players on the point to deplete it. And now Exclusive are working back from square one. See whether they can do anything in this situation. Vanquish have players push forward. Here we go. Here's the push. Fear takes Fahim out of position. Now towards the point. Caesar can't produce anything. Neil with the Tempest needs to go big. He is doing exactly that for a couple of kills. Kirby just sitting in the corner trying to play his life, but no, will get shut down. And Neil opens things up with that 3.
9v15, 20 seconds remain. Second segment's going to get locked. You got operators to pull. Caesar's got the equalizers already ripped. He's running all the way through lounge. And Vanquish are sending numbers to try to deal with this. That 60 seconds will be added. Exclusive have time to play.
Caesar's on the hunt with the equalizers. Nicely done. Again, all about clearing space for the rest of your team. You brought the life differential down to an 8v12. Equalizers are gone now. Speaking of gone, 1v1. Caesar wins it. Nicely done. And now you look towards the back line here. Exclusive also winning gunfights on that side. You had operators ready to go. You brought them into play. The Sparrow from Leia doesn't go well. Exclusive now knocking at the door of B. Kirby, you gotta go huge. And he will find 2. That's a huge 2-piece for Kirby. Neil goes down as well. And as that happens, it looks like this round might have just fallen apart for Exclusive.
But the biggest problem even going in towards this round 4, Brody, is that Vanquish still have a round 5 offense that they have to play. They got 1 total segment through 2 offenses comparatively to this out of Exclusive. So it's between this for Vanquish, a round 5 offense staying alive in the series, or already thinking about the veto process versus S Cubed in the lower bracket. We'll have to see how it all unfolds. Vanquish have struggled cataclysmically to even get out of their spawn. Exclusive have been outright dangerous on the defensive openings. This time around was at least a trade fest, but Exclusive come out on top.
Hunter-killer drone inbound.
I think here, surely Exclusive should be able to take this defense and close this control out and the series. Got to win the gunfights, though. You're doing exactly that. You take a 3-for-1 trade off the start here. Leia the only one to get anything whatsoever, and he gets shut down. Vanquish trying to find a way out of potential spawn trap. Neil is waiting there to try and cut some of the reinforcements off. Not actually get that second gunfight versus Leia. So an opportunity now for Vanquish to move forward off the back of that fight, but Exclusive are so damn annoying. They immediately put reinforcements through. It would have been nice if Kirby could have got something through with that death machine. And now Fia is sniping players coming off the spawn. He's looking for kills. Spy is sealing away, but it doesn't matter if you get some proper as long as somebody on Exclusive does.
Yep, still no segments to capture for Vanquish on any offensive round. They got 2 operators. You might just need it. 18 seconds remain, and you're trapped inside a launch. Vanquish off this respawn block, trying to take their virtues over towards B. Fahim's going to be there to at least get the information onto 1, but here comes the pinch on the opposite side for the spawn kills.
And these are big kills coming through. We've gone with the equalizer, trying to get it done. Sao trying to showboat, will actually get punished for it. So Vanquish slowly making progress on B. It's a double stack. Spy needs to take Gon out of the play. Can't actually do it. Gon's equalizers will be gone before we know it, and there we go. But still, second tick through on B now. Vanquish starting to reach back in towards the middle of the map here. They're multitasking. I don't necessarily know if this is the best idea in the world because you've left Leia isolated on the point, and Caesar will take that player down. But now you've got players on A.
And Neil is just sitting here watching the visitor center. The only spawn available for Vanquish. Segment being worked on over by A. First one will be locked. You got the 2 over by B. There are options, but you're running out of lives.
10v6. First tick now through. Caesar trying to take the players down. It's not just him, it's Veer that's being a nuisance as well. Veer can just fire that war machine downrange and call it right here, right now. The Tempest from Fahim is going to do nothing to stop an Exclusive 3-0. A phenomenal performance across the entirety of the series.
I mean, they tripled their amount of segments captured in the final offensive round. If you are Vanquish, that is a tough shake. Same conversation we had, and commiserations to them as you had to draw Exclusive in this playoff bracket. But it's the playoffs. You had to expect you're going to be going up against the Europe's #1 and #2. There's only so much maybe you could prepare for as you got bodied in this best of 5 series, but Exclusive looked great. This is what we wanted to see, and you and I have put them up on this pedestal, Brody, ever since we learned about their 0-2 loss to Queens way back when, before we even got to this playoff bracket. Aggression looks good on them. Their team shot's even better. But even more so, when they're at a deficit, their ability to claw their way back with good fundamental pulls from their operators, just fantastic to be able to see out of Exclusive. Probably a lot closer than they wanted versus Vanquish, and I'm sure Animus are probably sitting there saying, wow, they just played them incredibly close on the takeoff control. But you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. The other 2 maps were fantastic and outright way more dominant.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with control. Like, generally speaking, I think from the default position, you pretty much always just expect a control to end in round 5. Just the way that control works, right? Even with operators in play, you expect it to be a defensive round win over and over again, and that's why kind of getting as many ticks as you can is important. So I don't think going to round 5 is the worst thing in the world. I definitely think they'll be very happy with how dominant those first 2 maps are, though.
I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. That was the performance we were looking for out of Exclusive. Wanted to see what Vanquish are going to be able to do up against another behemoth of a squad like that. Control seems to be their strong point right now, but will that work against Special Suicide Squad down there in the low bracket? We will find out till tomorrow. But for everybody at home, don't worry if you're just joining us here for match number 2 on the day. Vanquish is not out of the competition, okay? We'll take a look at the brackets so you guys can see how that is all reflected here. Exclusive win in a 3-0 fashion, exactly the same way that Animus did earlier on in the day. So it will be an Animus versus Exclusive upper bracket final up next, okay? Here today to close out the day to determine which of those 2 teams will move forward to our grand finals. Meanwhile, it is Special Suicide Squad and Vanquish down there in that lower bracket, and they will face off tomorrow to kick off the day. Whoever survives will move on to the lower bracket final and play against either Exclusive or Animus, depending on who drops down. So this is definitely shaping up to be an exciting 2 days of Call of Duty Mobile action. I mean, I think this is what everybody was kind of hoping for, at least for today, for the upper bracket final, Brody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what we all expected, let's be honest. I think maybe there was a chance for a Vanquish upset of some kind. Like, maybe they could force them to a game 5, take the hard points. I don't know. I think we kind of expected that. I will say, I definitely expected to go into that series when I learned Kuda wasn't playing on the team. I'm really surprised they didn't have Kuda on that roster for that matchup, and Vanquish probably could have done better. But yeah, with that said, definitely expected an Animus exclusive finals. I think, how many times have we seen this now? This must be like the 4th or the 5th time we've seen Animus
right?
exclusive in a finals of some kind. This is just European Call of Duty Mobile. This is what you expect at this point.
Yeah, I hope everybody at home is prepared for this, because this could very much be a preview of what we get in our grand finals. And don't forget, for grand finals, it is a best of 7, and whoever comes out of the upper bracket gets that 1 map advantage. So this is actually a big deal coming up around the corner here, Proper.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, right? I mean, there are 14,605,000 possible outcomes, and this is the one that we get every single time. But I think at the end of the day, you got to treat this as the actual grand finals. To get a 1-0 lead from Exclusive's perspective versus Animus, who have had your number continuously, is monumental. Is that enough for them to be able to hold into a best of 5? I'm not too sure, because Animus are the real freaking deal.
All right, well, since this is obviously all happening live, that means our players are going to need a little bit of time to get prepared for match number 3. Okay, they have to go through their picks and bans, get themselves reset and ready to go into this next match, which means for us on this side of things, it's time for a short break. Really good time for you guys to get some snacks, hydrate, and prepare to come back for our upper bracket finals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My crew, yeah, we're lawless. Got the man, them thinking that we're flawless. Yeah, mama told you that I'm gorgeous. Got a million tricks, can't deport us. I'm a flame in the star, call me gassed. Back foot slidey, I'm slick to the mass. Calling to the tribe, it's a revolution past. Present in time, no, we can't be masked. So you better rise up, cool up, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up, so we better rise up, cool up, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom. 789, that's procedure. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom.
original, sensational. Could be too good for you. Everyone wants a piece of this. Watch me drive up to the Hollywood Hills, always dressed up in my high heels. Everybody wants to have my life, 'cause this is my life. Yeah, this is my life. I know you want my life. I know you want it. I know you want it. But this is my life. Everyone wants to follow me, follow, but they can't beat me. The original, sensational, could be too good for you. Everyone wants a piece of this. Watch me drive up to the Hollywood Hills, always dressed up in my high heels. Everybody wants to have my life, 'cause this is my life. Yeah, this is my life. I know you want my life. I know you want it. I know you want it. But this is my life. Wanna move like I move. Wanna step in my shoes. Gonna need to bring your A game if you step in my lane. 'Cause this is my life. Yeah, this is my life. I know you want my life. I know you want it. I know you want it. But this is my life. The original, sensational. Everyone wants a piece of this. So beautiful, incredible. Everybody wants to have my life, 'cause this is my life. This is my life. Yeah, this is my life. Yeah, this is my life. This is my life. I know you want my life. I know you want it. I know you want it. But this is my life. My life. Yeah, this is my life.
Cutie, dressed up and I'm glistening. I'm the gift, don't wrap me like it's Christmas. Once I'm yours, you'll know what you've been missing. Feeling like we should get into mischief. Listen, you've been looking like you're down on your luck. Need a girl like me to come through, lift you up. Hold me in your hand, I like when you touch me. Keep me around or you might get lucky. I'ma keep you with the good mood. Keep you up all night. Never, never around you. Baby, this is so vibe. Got me dancing like a soul train. Laughing the whole time. Got me singing in the shower. Baby, are you all mine? Baby, I'm your four-leaf clover. Your rabbit's foot, your charm bracelet, horseshoe. Baby, I'm your good omen. You wanna keep me with you. Keep me with you.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series, where we are moments away from getting into our third and final match of day one of the Challenge Finals here in EU for Call of Duty Mobile. But also, it's a big match, okay? This is going to be super fun. The boys are already hyped to get into it. It is Animus versus Exclusive here for our upper bracket final, which will be determining which one of these teams is making their way through to our grand finals. This is, like we said before the break, potentially a preview of what we're going to be getting at the end of it all here, Ton.
It absolutely is. You know, this is kind of where we expected things to lie. In somewhat in different ways than we thought we'd get. Yeah, I actually genuinely thought that Vanquish would put up a fight up against Exclusive. I was having my break. I came back to my PC and it was 240 to 20 and I was like, okay, well, never mind. And from the get-go, yeah, you kind of expect to go that way. I know we'll talk about it a bit more, but Exclusive played really, really well there, and I'm wondering if Animus have been keeping an eye out on how things went in that one, because there is a warrior in opposition, especially up against them, and not necessarily the cleanest game beforehand.
Yeah, it will definitely all come down to these picks and bans. That's why they get that longer break between these matches. They can kind of get their strategy here figured out. And these are the top two teams in the region facing off against each other now, Brody. So even if One will get knocked down as we get to see these picks and bans come through here as well. Give me your thoughts on these, but this is a really good kind of test run for them regardless.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing I always say with these situations, right, is you are looking at the 2 best teams in the region. There are no weaknesses, right? We're not looking at anything here or like a team really needs to get rid of, XYZ map. Like, that's not how this works at this point. You are trying to play against each other and look at each other's kind of past records, see what kind of maps that you want to take away, what they're really good at, for example, right? Looking across this map set, not surprised to see Hacienda. We literally just saw it from both of these 2 teams, so that's not a surprise whatsoever. Slums is a really good pick for exclusive. I'm very surprised that Animus let that one through, but obviously they're going to be confident on that as well. So as far as the hard points are concerned, I think exclusive on that conversation. The biggest question mark for me is going to be the crossfire, because we did just see Animus, BISSS on that pretty confidently. So it's looking to see kind of what we expect from exclusive on that map.
I think for me, the one for Animus, they had to clutch themselves up in a couple of situations though on Crossfire, so they probably don't want to put themselves too many spots like they did. They were able to do that through some really good play, but yeah, they'll have to be probably a little tidier than they were, especially on Hacienda as well. Actually, they really did get pushed all the way by SSS. So they kind of kept the slaying battle alongside them, and then when they did, they were struggling to kind of find the points, to be honest with you. So yeah, I actually really like these maps for exclusive as well. For me, it is just about the conversation of whether Animus were lent forward up against SSS, because if they weren't, then I wasn't necessarily as convinced as what I seen from exclusive in that second game, but we'll see.
I like it. Chat, give us your thoughts as well on match number 3, which is going to be the first 4 squads making their way through to the grand finals, because I'm being told that our players are ready to go. It's time to dive into our upper bracket finals. So let's see who that first team's going to be.
Well, here we go then. Upper bracket final already. I mean, I feel like I've been here like in this season for about 3 weeks, and all of a sudden we are at this stage now, Brody, where the very final games of this European season, and it was, of course, as everyone kind of expected, Animus and exclusive heading into a Hacienda hardpoint to kick things up. But yeah, I mean, just kind of further reiterate my point that I made towards the end there. Look, Animus won. They were going up against Suicide Squad, and for me, they were always going to win that series. But I would have liked to see a cleaner Hacienda. I would have liked to see Crossfire maybe a little bit more convincing. The Search and Destroy was good as well. Nothing to take away from them there. They still won the series 3-0 as well. I'm trying to caveat this with the sense that exclusive just blew through Vanquish, who I believe are our 3rd best team. So let's see. As far as the audition went, let's see how both these 2 teams are going to lead into the actual main event now, with them going up against each other here in the winners bracket final.
Yeah, and just to kind of talk about your point a little bit more there, right, about the fact that, exclusive, or Animus, excuse me, versus Special Suicide Squad, they were playing really relaxed, right? I think it was the final stats at the end of the game had them like a plus 20 point outslay or something like that, ridiculous. And for a 40-point game, that's not that great. The efficiency wasn't there for Animus versus the Special Suicide Squad. And I think watching exclusive in that last series, I coming into the day, I kind of thought Animus would blow for everybody. Now I'm not so sure. So we'll see whether or not exclusive can find a way in towards this series versus Animus. I don't think they're that far behind by any stretch of the imagination. They certainly looked phenomenal in that last series. And right now, I mean, the game's going pretty well for them so far. They're getting the vast majority of time back as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Hacienda actually comes through here, to be honest with you. I know both teams will kind of just want to ego Chala to a certain degree. And Animus, as mentioned multiple times, not necessarily having the best of times in the very first series they on this map, particular and exclusive, having quite a wonderful time up against Vanquish just in that series beforehand. Decent start for both these 2 teams, so some good time over towards P1 for both of them. Exclusive, the first one's here, but a pinch now being operated from Marvel on one side, everybody else on the other. Says it's actually trying to pinch in from the push up towards the ramp. Can they manage to find it? So far, so good for exclusive on the defensive side of things. No break quite yet. Marvel can find a couple. He gets shut down. Still 50-50.
Yeah, I think they really wanted to find some value there towards the backline. The fact that he doesn't is kind of unfortunate for Animus, but they can still bully their way through the front here. They're slowly putting those smokes down and being a nuisance, but that spawn out, I think, from Sao is going to make it more difficult for the players that were trying to get through to do exactly that. Cairo will find a couple of kills, and now you face yourselves in a situation here where the spawns have actually flipped kind of against you with 25 seconds left. You don't necessarily want these spawns.
Marvel with the war machine out, that's going to cause a lot of problem. Yeah, he finds a couple. Via can find one himself. Still alive and kicking as well. So still some options here for Exclusive to be able to do something, but Animus are the ones finding the kills momentarily, then answered back by Exclusive. Which way is this final amount of scrap time going to go to? It's going to go Exclusive. It's going to be Animus walking away, licking their wounds somewhat. But I think all in all there for Animus, you didn't win the rotation. You weren't really able to get a toehold in the point at any given stage. You're only down by 20 heading over towards P3. It's not a disaster, at least.
Yeah, I think you're at the very least happy with the fact that you're going to be the first team to touch over by New, right? And this is always a mixy hard point, but still, you are going to be the first team to get a good look at this hill. You're already seeing some investment coming out from Gafilla and Shark here. That's a big shot down from Spy to take Shark out of the play. Gafilla finding value, though, with the Death Machine, which is recently in towards the meta. And Gafilla is making a meta of his own right now. He is going to burn through all of these players. Gafilla doing bits with the Death Machine.
Death Machine literally doing what it says on the tin right now for Gathilla. That's at least 6 that he finds with it. And Animus now starting to stretch into a little bit of a lead for the first time. You can see Kairu has the Gravity Vortex gun out as well. Everybody from Exclusive, a one-dimensional push. Is it going to work out into all this firepower? Well, so far so good. Cesar Sour can start to combine together, but Gathilla brings in the Predator Missile. We'll find at least 2. Neil is going to find a way through, and that final amount of scrap time will go to Exclusive. That 20-point gap has now been turned into a 5-point lead by the time we head over towards P4.
Just great operators coming out from Animus there. We talked already about the Death Machine, I think, from Gafilla, but I think it was the Gravity Vortex gun as well up top that was being a nuisance from Animus. So Exclusive here, starting to deal with a serious threat in this game as Animus do something not many teams are actually able to do, which is get a lot of time off the defensive hardpoint. But now we're starting to see more investment coming out for Exclusive on this hill.
Yeah, you can see already the Purifier, the Equalizers both in. Marvel trying to counter here with the War Machine, and he's usually so effective with it as well, trying to put it through over the top. Can't quite get the angle. Everybody else bringing something in from the side of Exclusive, though. You can see already Tempest out, Death Machine out. Oh my god, just everything out. Honestly, I was trying to run out of bloody words to say how much Exclusive we're bringing to the table there. 4 operators at one stage out for Exclusive.
And there's still more to go as well. Veer's still got the War Machine, and Neil's brought the Tempest into play too. So Exclusive want this time. They know how important getting a full 50 off the back of what Animus did on the last hard point is to maintain an advantage going into the second set, and they're finding so much value for it as well. Animus looking to try and steal away the last 10 seconds with a last little ditch effort to do something about it. And to be fair, they do get through and contest that time away, but still, I think you kind of needed to throw those operators into play if you're Exclusive. Yeah. Take that lead back away again from Animus.
Yeah, to get things rolling. I think both these teams kind of going tit for tat at the moment, isn't it? Having their moments as far as picking up the time on the point. Everybody seemingly just having those 20 or 30 second spots where they can finally actually get themselves some sort of a lead. Exclusive now up by a decent chunk. They mostly have been since P2, but Animus filling that kill feed right now. Picking up the majority of the time here over towards P1 so far. At least the majority of the kills. Looking to try and flip it over towards P2 as quickly as they can. Is that an investment by Shark there, actually? Did he actually bring them out? He did. So, a little bit of a misplay coming out from Shark. That's a big investment of the Equalizers for, well, nothing.
And for P1 as well, right? I mean, yeah, I know kind of, it is kind of, I guess, sometimes tempting. You get your operators, you want to get control of a hard point. You don't want to find yourself as a hole in the game that you just bring them out into play. But for P1, it's not generally speaking a hard point when you see those operators, like the Equalizers, into play. So maybe not the best utilization for Shark. We'll have to wait for another cycle to get those back into play. More to the point, though, they are not the ones in control right now. And last time around, Animus really struggled to get into this hard point. You've got to make sure you get some pressure through the side door.
And Gathilla has the Death Machine out as well. What can he manage to get going with it? Neil will find 2, Cesar will find Shark, and you're just shutting down absolutely nothing. Big investments coming in from the side of Animus for very, very little. Marvel can find 2, though, with the War Machine on the other side, make it 3, and that will just be about enough for Exclusive to actually hold on here. Bit of a split spawn coming through, though. Sao now just trying to get something going with the Purifier. This is just dangerous, dangerous places to be for Sao. Can find 2 or 3. Kairo's the only one who can answer back now with the side of the Gravity Vortex gun. Anything else going to be operating here for the side of Exclusive? You can see Neil with the Tempest out, and it's back and forth, but ultimately it's still Exclusive in control.
Exclusive just reading the spawns perfectly. Every single time that the spawns flip against Animus, they're immediately firing them down. Operator usage as well from Sao was pretty much perfect to take those guys away. That is a solid full 60 on that hard point, maybe a little bit less for Exclusive, and it's blown this game wide open as now we need to see Animus. We move towards the rotation. Last time around, they managed to get a lot of time, more than you would normally see off this hard point, but it was down to great operator usage from the likes of Gunfilla and Marvel. Can they do it again? They're already starting to lose these gunfights, Tom. This is not looking good.
I mean, we looked over towards it. You've seen all the investment coming in from the side of Exclusive to lock something down over towards P2. We're over towards P3. The operators are up and running again. Death Machine, War Machine, Equalizer, all out from the side of Exclusive. Animus trying to answer back, but right now they are being gunned off the map. Via will bring out the War Machine. Still has some bullets available in the tank as well. We'll get some good value out of them as well. Githilla will fall. One player can find a way from behind. That is going to be Shark. He should get taken down momentarily, and, well, eventually does so. Everybody else now trying to filter through towards from the well side, but this is dominant from Exclusive. They've already broken 200. They're picking up so much time here at P3, and Animus can do absolutely nothing about it.
Yeah, this is that snowball effect here. Well, in full effect, Animus will get away with gunfights. Finally, they'll get through, but what, for 15 seconds? I don't think you particularly care if you're Exclusive. It is but a scratch because they have had such a solid last couple of hard points. Every single operator has been utilized to pretty much perfection. When they get a streak, they've been bringing it out to use against Animus and really worsen the advantage. Exclusive now just about 100 points to the good, and they surely cannot get this rotation again.
I mean, my word, it is just a kill feed that is lighting up blue. Animus really haven't been in the races here, specifically on Hacienda at all today. It was not necessarily the best of performance against Special Suicide Squad, and now you're coming up against the big boys, and Exclusive are putting them to the sword. A couple of kills go Animus's way, but ultimately it has usually resulted in Exclusive still holding it down. Shock, again, is he going to be able to find much out of the equalizers? Can only get the 2. Caesar can find 2 back himself. Exclusive, 20 seconds away.
Marvel will find a couple of kills here with the War Machine. Marvel actually cleans out 3. That is a big utilization of an important operator. Making sure you get kills with that is everything. Exclusive still fighting for the scrap time, though. They can still go. Marvel still on a tear with the War Machine. Finally, can now bring that Predator missile down. And you can almost see the desperation in the way in which Marvel and Animus are playing. You see he gets that Predator missile and immediately brings it into play. Spy comes through for 3, though, with the jump. But Spy cleans house on towards the hard point. Surely not number 5. Githilla! Spy is absolutely bloody ridiculous. Exclusive take that last little scrap time away. And I was trying to give Marvel a lot of love for the play, but almost immediately a play like that comes out from Spy, and you kind of wonder why even bother.
I mean, Animus at that stage, though, they found so many kills. I think it was Neil still contesting the entire time. I think they maybe got 10 seconds. Speaking of 10 seconds, that's about how far away Exclusive are from a map number 1 win. War Machine is out here from the side of Via. They're just trying to get this one done as soon as they can. We don't want to go to P2 and maybe give them a full 60 to get them back into the game. They want to close it out here. 5 seconds away. Animus need to find a way through somehow, some way. Says can find a kill in over towards the middle of the map, but the kills are going Exclusive's way, as will map number 1 in a pretty comfortable fashion. Exclusive come out of the gates swinging and land the first blow here in the winners bracket final.
First half of the game, relatively close, right, between those two teams. I think it was a 50-point advantage by the end of the first set, but that second half, man, Exclusive chain hill after hill after hill together. I think the most damaging set, right, we talk about it, was they had full 60 on the garage hard point, and we said, like, you know, look, Animus, they managed to get a lot of time on fences away, so they can probably do it again. They can even out this game, but we saw an immediate break coming through from Exclusive, and then an immediate hold with all of the operators and all of the streaks coming out to play as well. We move over to the rock hard point. Exclusive are the first team to touch, and albeit it's more mixy than the last 2 hills, that's not good enough at that point in the game. You're down by 100 points. You cannot afford to let that happen. Animus needed to be way better on rotation there, and it's almost like something from the game versus the Special Suicide Squad was kind of filtering in towards this one, in which you're seeing sloppy team play from Animus that you wouldn't normally see. We didn't see this in the challenge season. I know they were playing totally different competition, but even versus Vanquish, Animus were doing so much better, and here just didn't look like that whatsoever. Exclusive just frankly outplayed them on every single rotation required. Shout out to Spy. I'm so glad. I mean, I literally had it in my notes that you've got to have Spy on the roster here for playoffs. Exclusive even want a chance. They made the right call.
And just I want to point out, though, and I want to give him credit as well at the same time as ask a question of Marvel here. 40 and 24, you've lost by 109. The question has to be raised, what are they doing with Marvel's kills here? What are they bringing to the table? He's a player who can always do this against squads. We know he can bring that to the table. Well, I think the answer is that Says and Githilla just not necessarily getting things going. And bearing in mind, Githilla at one stage found 6 in a row with the Death Machine without the operator usage there, which I know is one thing to say, but without it, really not bringing a whole lot to the table in map number 1, and that'll be disappointing for them. And I don't want to harp on at those players in particular because we know they're good players. Animus have won so many times here in Europe. But when you come into a map number 1 of Hacienda before wasn't great up against Special Suicide Squad. You kind of limped over the line there. Exclusive have dealt with you here in map number 1. Questions need to be asked. There's why the map has even got through, but here we are. The teams are very much equal up against each other, played against each other so many times. They will know certain maps they want to play. I can't imagine though if we get to a grand final we'll see a Hacienda.
I'll answer your question a little bit in saying that, to be fair, Hacienda is Animus's strongest hardpoint map. Like, I don't think necessarily that they should have banned it by any stretch, because well, yeah, but it's just like, you know, in the past, we look towards like past matchups between this. Again, you got to remember that Animus, they beat Exclusive in the Season 5 Grand Final, right? And I think Hacienda was even part of that map set. So I'm not necessarily surprised. I think Hacienda was through, and I don't think they should have necessarily banned it. I think Animus did the right thing. They just didn't play it that well. Ultimately, we look towards Fire Range Search and Destroy, though, and this is where the snipers are going to come out to play from both rosters. Neil has been on fire throughout his entire time in the Snapdragon Pro Series. I'm expecting him to be doing exactly that here for Exclusive. You just got to make sure he doesn't pop off. You got to make sure he's not really in the conversation constantly. Actually, not even going to be running the sniper rifle from the start here. It's Fear that's going to be primarily keeping it out. Exclusive, I think, really prioritizing aggression off the start of this round.
One thing that Animus were really effective in, though, was their Kurahana Search and Destroy beforehand. It seems to just be working well as a team. Of course, this bomb is going to go down for Exclusive, and Animus will have to work well together to make sure that they can secure this round. They are in a 5 versus 3. Their favor as well, but this bomb being down, the pressure has been invited. Next couple of gunfights are absolutely massive. One player on the flank, he's going to get taken down. That will be Kairu first to fall. Spy now makes it a 3 versus 3 by finding his kill. Says will find one back as well. Can he find anything else? No. Sour makes it a 2 versus 2. Sour finds a second. When all of a sudden, what was a 5 versus 3, Marvel left all on his own in very little time. 10 seconds to go. It's not going to happen. Exclusive. That is a wonderful, wonderful hold. If they can manage to find it, they will. Marvel ain't going to have the time. And that is going to be the round.
That's a solid 5v3. Was it 5v3? I think it was for Exclusive. Yeah, just really well played. Now, I think they've made that decision right off the rip of the round. Yeah, you lose the first couple of buds, but the fact that you send Util over the top and immediately take control of the A site.
They have the bomb.
Well played for Exclusive, and a really good post-plant setup as well. And an eye on each other's back. Curious to see whether we see a different kind of change of strategy here for Exclusive. It feels like we probably will. Shark is getting aggressive through the middle of the map, and will actually poke and prod at the defense. That is probably the worst possible play you could lose as well, because that's the bomb carrier. You take a trade in that situation, you go 4 for 4, but that one kill against Sao has completely set up everything for Exclusive here.
Good way to answer back. I'll be try and get this round if you're Animus. Yeah, okay. Thumbs down momentarily. They'll manage to get a hold of it. Still had the numbers, if only momentarily. Not now, though. Says shots like that, just shutting them down. Githilla on the flank as well. This should be absolutely an Animus round. That nearly got scary for a second. Spy was behind 2. He could have found both those kills. He's found himself in a 1 versus 1, but irrelevant of that, that will be, of course, Animus getting themselves on the board.
I feel like they probably even predicted aggression from Exclusive in that round. Still, Animus in that round, excuse me, still Exclusive just couldn't do anything with it. So different look from Animus, goes well. First snipes now also going pretty well here. Exclusive have to be fast and furious on the trades, and they are, but they're not winning them here. Githilla absolutely cleans all 3 out. Wow. How about that for a fast round? I barely got even a chance to let you talk, mate. Sorry.
That's absolutely fine if Githilla's pulling out players like that. You got to tip it. Incredible stuff. Animus bounce back. They'll be feeling to themselves they should be 3-0 up here, but irrelevant to that, they're 2-1 up. Exclusive with a nice clutch of round number 1, but since then, Animus very dominant on the defensive side. I think Animus just fully committing to, well, let's maybe not let any bomb plants go down here, but they may not have a choice at this moment in time when we're talking about B. Kairu. Carnade comes over, really nicely done. And Exclusive have an opportunity to try and get this bomb down.
Get this bomb down. Before you give Animus a lot more control, you've allowed Marvel to run right up to the site here. It's a stretch plant. You're forcing Marvel out to try and get the frag. Veer is here for it. Marvel takes down Spy, though, and that's before the bomb gets planted. You're taking way too long to get the rock down. You've given so much room, and now you're going to have a chance to get it down once again. And this time, Marvel's not going to be able to take that player out.
Feels like you were trying to dot too many I's and cross too many T's. He was just trying to make sure the plant was secure, but in the end, they will get it. But now a 4 versus 4, the advantage that they had gone. But still, you would say they are the ones in the prime position. Say should be dead to rights, and it is. Good shot from Neil. Nice follow-up as well. Veer on the other side will find another. There's only one player who can really do anything in Shark through the middle of the site. He's gone into the bomb. But with 21 seconds to go, he needs to be able to find something. Big child comes through from Sour. This one should be done. Nice hold from Exclusive once again. 2-2. Each time that bomb, though, has went down, Exclusive have won the round.
I think it was Neil there with the positioning. It was such a big nuisance to Animus. Couldn't really do anything. I think Veer might have actually got the final blood, but it doesn't really matter. The fact he holds 2 players off from helping out the 2 that were hitting through the middle of the map is so detrimental to Animus on the retake. Again, fundamentally, Exclusive seems solid at the moment. And it's the same look once again. They know they're going to get aggression at the start of the round. You will take a 1-for-1 trade, but as Caesar doubles up now, Animus will start to look weaker on the defense here. Exclusive have a lot more options as to how they want to play this.
Just going to take their time, though. Animus just setting up a line with what they have left, which is not a great deal. 1 player at A, 1 player at B, 1 player smack bang in the middle of the map. Veer trying to have a look over towards this A side. Taking your time if you're Exclusive. Utility starting to come out over towards the A side, and if you are Animus, you're calling for help. It's going to be Marvel who's there. He does manage to find one, though. Makes it a 3 versus 4 now. He finds the head of Veer, but he answers back with a shot of his own. Now a 4 versus 2. Or 3 versus 2.
For a potential flank for Gafilla. That's the key thing. Gafilla has to find some value. You've really wanted that kill against Veer to find something in this position, because now Gafilla has been found out. Element of surprise has gone down the toilet. He's going to have to reposition here. It is a fast reposition. I don't think necessarily Caesar's going to be ready enough to deal with this.
Let's see if he can. Eodin is in hand. Time is ticking for Animus to do something about this. The holds from Exclusive, though, have been so good, and says I can find one. Kairu answers back with 1, but he needs to find 2 more here, and time just whittling down, but 14 seconds to go. He's found another. He's now going to be able to spy. He's going to go for the child, but Kairu has to go for the wide angle. Finds the gunfight. Does he have time? It doesn't look it. Oh, he got the defuse! No way, he got the defuse! That had to be so close.
That is so damn unfortunate. Kairu plays that perfectly, though. He knows that Spy has to go and check that bomb, because Kairu in that position can go and get the defuse. He could just run straight out of the site. Spy, yeah, all right, I'll just play time. Chooses instead to hit the rat back through the street, and will get punished for it. Brilliantly played from Kairu. And off the start of this round, looks like they're building up momentum in towards this one as well. Exclusive, once again, in a position here where they've got themselves in towards the A site, but now they've got in less numbers.
Incredible clutch up.
Nice work. Get ready for the next round.
Is going to then add to it as well, with Animus finding another round. That was a fast and furious one, and that will be the end of the attack inside for Exclusive. My brain's still 2 rounds ago.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, how? It must have been so close. I even called that. I don't think he's got it, but either way, here we are. Now for Exclusive onto the defensive side. 4-2, not the end of the world. You, of course, can find your defensive rounds here, but it's going to be up to Animus and see what they can do on the attack. Can they add to their advantage, or can Exclusive start to tie some things up here? Some very close rounds.
Feels like we're in a bit of a stalemate at the moment between these two teams. Animus looking for a first blood, looking for some kind of aggression. Exclusive not giving it to them. And I think the reason they feel that way is because they're the kind of roster to give Exclusive that first blood, to run straight at them. Shark has done it 2 times on the defense in this search and destroy. Exclusive, though, just not the type of roster to give that away. So as time starts to whittle down in this search and destroy round, you've got to start thinking about how you want to play this. You're still in towards trailer. Nobody's there. Have that now cleared out. The call has been made. Now you know the likelihood of it on the defense is going to have a sniper watching over A. That player is going to be Neil, and he needs to go big on the defense here for Exclusive.
It's a bit of a passive approach as well. He's only going to see the angle of the bomb, and he just seen Marvel's bullet heading for his forehead. Neil will drop. Incredible shot from Marvel. Here, what bomb site is wide open, and well, now the bomb is down as well. For Exclusive, this retake is difficult to say the least. Marvel watching them all cross as well. Accurate with the shots, not quite able to finish his dinner with that one though. So we'll still have to be the retake. But look at Animus, they back right up here, Brody. Nobody on the side. Shark on the flank. Via is there, and he is very much dead as well. Shots in from Shark. The rest of the team are probably going to start collapsing now as well. It's a perfect round of search and destroy from Animus. All thanks to Marvel in that opening break.
Yep. Again, you take Neil out of the play, I feel like, over by A, and everything falls apart on the defense for Exclusive. It was such a tentative hold. They had no idea what Animus were doing because they gave them nothing. No indication whatsoever. Exclusive rolled the dice and they lost. Animus off the start of this round having the same thing once again. Marvel going big, Shark gonna follow up. How many times can Marvel go huge for Animus?
Dude. Honestly, if you look at these teammates and asking for a little bit of help after map number 1. Well, he is getting it this time, but also he's still very much at the top of that leaderboard. Spy now left in a 1 versus 4. And Animus are looking to tie this series up in the blink of an eye here on firing range. It's not in the position to do a whole deal here, but I mean, how often do we talk about Marvel and bringing the players to the table? It's not just the volume of kills, it's the ones that he finds. That shot onto, you know, if he puts that shot down over towards America on anybody else, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, really good shot, but that was Neil he took out there. Somebody who is more than effective at holding his angles, and he just got his head taken off. Animus 6-2, 1 round away from tying this series up 1 apiece.
Exclusive hit. Have to have a flawless search and destroy from this point onwards. They've been losing first blood after first blood, round after round. And it is the exact same setup once again here. Animus are not blinking. This is a very long game of chicken, and Animus just do not care. They will take very late rounds here, like they did last time around. Exclusive getting baited into moving forward. Spy has a lot of bullets in this PKM. He's going to exhaust, I think, about approximately 40%. Try and get something for free. If you can take Shark out of this play, this would be big.
But it's giving free information away, right? Animus now know, well, Spy's over there with his PKM, isn't he? And Shark is just waiting for a moment to be able to try and find something. The sniper was waiting on them as well. Shark is going to be there, though, to try and pick up the pieces. Cannot. No bomb down yet. Animus with the disadvantage. Exclusive just sitting tight. A is open again, though.
Hello.
Marker's coming through.
Bomb has been planted.
Doesn't find enough, though. Bomb goes down.
And Neil wasn't even the one you need to worry about, apparently. It's Sawo on the cross with those shots. Now you got bombed down and you're backing all the way up. Animus don't have a flanking player this time around. That's where it all fell apart last time. Maybe Spy's about to cut caught out by Karu. Yeah, he is. Exclusive can't get back towards the site now. Animus holding these positions down.
Again, Exclusive holding it very passively, and they have been punished. Says we'll find another, Gathilla another, and it's just adding to the tally. Animus answer back immediately. One apiece now in this series. And that was as convincing as map number 1 was from Exclusive, to be honest with you. That was just incredible. Again, both these two teams are landing heavy blows, but ultimately will tie after 2.
Yeah, I think Exclusive just passive there. Be really passive on the defense. I mean, you called it right for the final few rounds where Animus were effectively flawless, and they were playing to that over and over again, right? I mean, they were trying to draw Exclusive out. Exclusive were not having it. Fair play, I think, to not get over aggressive, but it was just in those late rounds where Animus were like, all right, cool, we actually have to do something here. They were solid. And I think Exclusive probably could have done with being a little bit more aggressive, maybe on the offense, or on the defense, excuse me, you know, sending players, you know, a little bit further forward in towards the A site, because that was the problem. You can't solely rely on Neil towards back American, because if he doesn't hit the shot, well, you've lost A site control, right? And then you're having to play retake, which Exclusive just could not do. Gathilla, so many moments in that search and destroy. Was that 2 different 3 pieces from him, equating to him topping the scoreboard for the roster, but everybody had their moment there for Animus.
Solid outing from Animus, to say the least. And again, I suppose I'm going to probably be hypocritical of myself here, but, well, maybe not. You know, Shark going 4-7 there, but he's that guy that's going to have to be trying to make the pushes, trying to make something happen for the squad. Everybody else, very much able to do their job because of the help from Shark, right? He's the one that's out there finding the information, everybody else picking up the pieces. But maybe we don't need to read too much into that, to be honest with you. Animus is just so dominant across the map. But yeah, I kind of agree with you on the defensive side of things. I didn't like exclusive setup. It just felt like A was far too easy for Animus to walk onto.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden after that, if Neil doesn't hit his shot, which he didn't often do, then all of a sudden you've lost the map. It's very, very quick to turn that one around, though, from the side of Animus. Going to be heading into this control on Crossfire full of confidence after that.
Yeah, I would be as well. And even more so after what happened earlier on today, right, where Animus were able to pull off, what was it, 3 rounds back-to-back and close out the control versus Special Suicide Squad, mind you. So I don't know. I guess by the logic of it, right, Special Suicide Squad were able to beat Exclusive on Crossfire Control. Animus were able to beat Special Suicide Squad, so surely Animus would be the team here, right? That's how that works?
Kind of. I suppose.
I guess maybe not. I don't know. I will say, I mean, off the start of these offensive rounds, if you want to have a good offensive round on this point, you have to kind of almost immediately swarm on towards A and get it done early. That looks like the game plan for Exclusive.
It's probably trying to hold something down as they are just trying to get something going over towards this A side. One segment has now been captured, but Animus here to answer back. Kyra doing well, but it's just about not being wiped here for Exclusive. You just don't want to be sent back to your spawn, and Neil is the one who can answer that call. Let's have a little bit of help now as well. Does he need it? Well, he will. Shark is able to find one. They're able to bat them away momentarily, but that's a little bit more control now for the side of Animus that they needed. Can they find the gunfights though? No, they can't. Spy finds Stu answer back. Important kills there.
You are going to manage to take A here. Get the majority of the gunfights in your favor. That's the first bit that's the most difficult to do. If you can get a wave of gunfights in your favor here and almost immediately transfer in towards B, you'll be in a really solid position. Perhaps even get players in towards the spawn trap as well. You're trying to do the latter here before you do the former. Get players in towards the spawn trap position, isolate the ones that have already gotten through, but I don't necessarily know if that's working.
Well, the story of the lives that are remaining, things are pretty even still. Okay, you get a hold of A, but you now have been forced back up here. Exclusive, you're in a good spot potentially. Joker's going to get caught out. Says will answer back with a kill there. 12 versus 12, a minute and a half to go. This will likely go down to lives. So often does between these two teams. I mean, just an all-out bloodbath across the middle of the map. It's been fast, it's been furious. Sour with a good gunfight onto Cathilla, though. Is that going to now give the side of Exclusive a little bit of onus here? Getting across the B is the hard part, though, right?
It is so difficult. That's why I think you do want to immediately transition towards a spawn trap position. Because getting across that mid street when you're being watched is so difficult to do. You have to cross it. You don't really have much of a chance. You're losing all the gunfights here in this situation as well. And now as those gunfights go Animus' way, you can push forward. You can get even more spawn control. Exclusive here. 1 life down. Now down to the final 5 ton. This is not looking good if you're Exclusive.
Would have to be a perfect round from here. Spy's going to kick it off nicely, though. 5 versus 6. There is somewhat time to, well, take your time. Shot coming in now from the side of Shark, who now has been isolated by the side of Exclusive, and now it's a 5v5. Exclusive still have to make the move, though, and Animus are going to be holding tight. 4 versus 4. Via can answer back with one on to Says, but they have to make a move. 15 seconds to go. Shark and Co just going to try and hold something down towards this B side if they possibly can. Everybody crossing onto the point they go, and now the onus is on Animus. They have to try and make a move themselves. Kairu can find one onto Via. Makes it a 4 versus 3. Caesar makes it a 3 versus 3. Gathilla now makes it a 3 versus 2. Animus with the advantage. Sour, you need to find that gunfight. Gathilla invests, and it was worth it. Animus will just about close it out, but after being in such a strong position, they'll be kicking themselves. It wasn't easier.
Yeah, and I will say as well, there was a moment there, I think early on, and that was at 4 versus 4. I think it was Veer pulled out the War Machine and almost immediately get shut out. I was kind of weighing up the idea of maybe Exclusive bringing out an operator or two to get that offense done because they are a dime a dozen, but no, just almost immediately shut down. And then, of course, you see Gafilla on the other side having much more value with the Death Machine. So Animus will be very thankful for that start. But off the start of this one, Exclusive really starting to put the screws in. A 27 versus 21. Here's those static spawns. Hope you guys like them served up cold.
I mean, now it's just such a big problem. You've got to fight out of your spawn somehow. Neil's been running the show here. Spy. Oh my, what? Finds 3 with the Hunter Killer drone. Okay. Spy and Co now just starting to put the pain down. Exclusive. This is looking like a defensive round win by the looks of things. Animus can barely get out their spawn. They've barely even seen a building. This is much more like it from Exclusive. Imagine if they could have found that attack.
I think this might be one of the more dominant control rounds I think I've seen on Crossfire Control. Just surprising given the teams at play here. I don't really think there's much of a chance at this point. If you're Animus, you've got 3 operators on the block. Don't use any of them. Just hold them back for the next round so you can do exactly what Exclusive has just done to you. This is absolutely just... I feel like I need a shower after... I probably do just need a shower, generally speaking, but I definitely need one after watching this. 2v22, Animus, absolutely not a chance. How about that for the reason you have to win your offensive fights off the start of the round and get A done early, because if you don't have a chance.
Well, that was something. Very, very clean defensive round from the side of Exclusive is what it was. As you mentioned, though, it's all off those opening breaks, right? Now, Animus going to do it back the other way, potentially. Marvel is ringing out a War Machine across the map. It's going to find Neil, but it's an even trade, so that works for Exclusive. We're out to a certain degree. Have some presence. We'll now make sure Animus have to head over towards this side of the map to do something about it. Good play from Sour, to be honest, to be able to wait. Tries to find a little bit more. Can only find the 1-for-1 trade. Marvel will find 2. Spy will answer back. It's better for Exclusive than what we've seen from Animus in the previous round, at least anyway. Now managed to get themselves out the spawn. I'm still thinking about that triple hunter killer drone, to be honest with you.
It's just a really powerful streak, man. All right, it's supposed to.
I know, but it's not often we see that, is it?
Yeah, unique things like that certainly do help whoever has them out. Exclusive of a solid start to this round, though. Much better fortune in terms of getting this offense going. And now you're starting to see a little bit more value out of the War Machine from Fear. Oh, that's so unfortunate that you take yourself out of the play. The Exclusive kind of had their hands in both cookie jars right now, right? They've got players over towards B. You're starting to get the capture done over by A. And Animus, I think they know that. That's why you can kind of see them on the map pivoting towards B instead of holding on towards A. You know that losing the former is much worse than losing the latter. So A is about to go here. Animus have done the right things on the defense.
I feel like Exclusive did. I mean, you kind of mentioned that 2-point attack. They were working on both fronts. They had a bit of presence over towards B, and those players actually collapsed back over towards A to make sure the capture was secured. But I like them to have a bit more faith in their teammates there. Just keep themselves over towards this B side, but is it going to matter in this round? Sour, Spy combining well. Investment coming through. On the side of Spy here with the Death Machine, they have a little bit more presence, and well, that presence has a Gatling gun. My word, Spy just lighting them all up. You will back them down in B. Progress now underway for the side of Exclusive. 11 versus 5, about to be 11 versus a lot less if Sparrow has anything to do with it. On the side of Sour, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in this round. Exclusive now in an 8 versus 1. Stays left all on his own. That is a big attacking round to get, and that should be the onus now with Exclusive to find the control. But they're up against Animus here. It's not going to be as easy as that.
You get that Death Machine out and you start spraying and praying on a players coming off the spawn. It is very difficult to get out of a situation like that. Exclusive win the offense, and now if you're Animus, I mean, you have operators, you have utility, you need early investment, you need to try and get early control, because you cannot let what happened last time around happen once again. Sour takes the fastest route possible through towards the spawn and will immediately act on that as well, finding some kills. Animus here being bullied off the start once again.
Well, the control might be done before we've even really got into it. Animus will find a couple of kills to get themselves out, and do have plenty of operators available. Right now, Exclusive have got nothing on the card whatsoever. But I think Animus want to put themselves in a position where they can actually do something with it, because right now, they are just fighting to get out of their spawn. That might just be a little bit of pressure eased there, though, with the kills onto Neil and Sour. A pressure now starting to come in. Filler and Co. working on it as quickly as they possibly can. And investing as well. Shark here with the equalizers is going to get things going. And now when he pushes up that far, that is a difficult spot for the side of Animus, off of the side of Exclusive to get through. They take him down pretty much imminently. A now on its way, though. Animus have found a way out.
It's not a bad equalizers, and I would be concerned if I'm Exclusive here on this defensive effort about not putting too much in towards the middle of the map, making sure that you get presence on B, because already Saze is over here making progress. A is about to be gone. There's the extra 60 seconds. Marvel finding value with the War Machine as well. This is going everything well for Animus right now. You're seeing the operators come into play.
For all, Exclusive found a dominant defense, a dominant attack. Right now, Animus are looking to try and find an attack of their own. It's looking that way. It's just a snowball effect of Call of Duty Mobile that can sometimes happen, and Animus are running through Exclusive right now. We are inevitably going to a final round, a round number 5 between these two teams, unless Exclusive can light up like that. Cesar and Sour doing so well. They've cleaned house momentarily. One player towards the back, staying alive for Animus, and that just might be the linchpin. It's going to be Kairu towards the backside. Marvel and Co trying to fight their way through just to get up the map once again to help their teammate out. It has to be flawless gunfights from the side of Exclusive, and that's not what's happening, says Kairu. Combining well. Animus undoubtedly sending us to a round number 5, and they will. What an attacking round.
Just every single operator that we saw there from Animus was pretty much perfect on the transition as well. I think it was what Shark with the equalizers that effectively guaranteed them A control early on. Then Marvel and Kairu bring their operators out to get map control for B. Exclusive right now. I mean, I don't know, this has been such a back and forth control. Or Exclusive win those 2 rounds on the bounce there, the dominant defense and then dominant offense, and in towards this one. Now we look off the back of Animus holding that offense strong. Exclusive on the defense though. Already bringing out some operators. That war machine from Beer is going to be short-lived, but Animus, I think they're kind of worried right now, the way that they're playing. They do not want to lose these gunfights and get spawn trapped again.
I suppose it does beg the question, though, Exclusive, when they found that dominant defensive round. What does their defense look like if you don't find the open and break? And, well, we got an answer to that one, and it was relatively shaky, and Animus have managed to find a way out here, Brody. Still a lot of Call of Duty Mobile to be played here, and all those kills actually coming through. And Kairu challenges at that stage as well. Now the pressure's invited. Now Exclusive can put themselves in their most comfortable and favorite position. And Viet finds 2 through the smoke. Shark can answer back with 1, but all of a sudden Animus are staring down the barrel of a 2-1 loss.
Does definitely feel like Exclusive are way better on their defenses right now. When they get an opportunity, they will capitalize in it over and over again. Veer and Spy have guaranteed it in this round with those 5 kills. The full wipe. An 8 life differential between the two teams. Gefilla, I feel like he's going to try and bring this deficit out to get something, but Exclusive are not giving these kills away for free. They have to go on the hunt for them. They have to waste time on the clock time, and they don't have a lot.
They've stacked over towards the A side in that kill feed. Oh, it doesn't look good if you're an Animus fan. Say's just trying to peek the corner, and every single gun is just staring down the barrel towards the spawn. Neil might just line them up here. Looking for kills through the smoke if he can find it. There's one. Isn't going to be able to find much more. Marvel has to bring everything out. It's a 15 versus 3 Exclusive. 1 minor blip on the defensive side was all. Other than that, a very good control from Exclusive. They will take a 2-1 lead now in this winners bracket final. Brody, this has been a lot closer than I kind of expected. We're coming into it, I was really feeling Animus, but that performance up against Vanquish from Exclusive has very clearly just rolled into this winners bracket final, looking very solid with the 2-1 lead.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think that was necessarily Vanquish playing terribly in that series versus Exclusive. Just watching it, sitting here and keeping an eye on what was going on, it was like, it kind of felt like Exclusive just playing much better than they were during challenges and during open finals, and that is, I think, carrying across to this series as well. Their team play is absolutely solid, and I think you saw that there, the way in which they kind of, as a roster, were able to almost immediately capitalize on even getting 3 or 4 kills against Animus on the defense. All right, cool, that's the kills we needed. Let's now get ourselves in a spawn trap position and well, just win the round from there on out. Just cool game. We saw that twice. The first time was significantly more dominant than the second, but it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, Exclusive, their defenses there were just pretty much perfect time and time again. There's, I guess, a little bit of hope here for Animus off that one. That round number 4 from them was pretty solid, and that's the thing for me, right? We're seeing glimpses of challenge season Animus where they played out of their minds absolutely phenomenally as a team. Everyone doing solid work. Marvel's now playing on the roster here as well in challenge finals, so that's helping them. But there's something, I think, in moments that's not clicking for Animus, where they're just falling apart, and that's being shown right now. Does not help when you've got a player like Gefilla going 11-28. It's unfortunate. Sometimes you have bad games, but I think if him and Shark can pick things up, Animus will be right back in the series.
Feels like him and Shark, I think it might have been Says and Cathilla in map number 1, didn't necessarily have the best time.
Yep.
So these respawns, they haven't necessarily set the world on fire, have they? Search and Destroy has been solid, though, if they can force it, because we're going to be heading into another hard point, and Exclusive have themselves a 2-1 lead. We're going to be heading over towards Slums, which I always enjoy the most anyway. So let's see how it's going to go down. I bloody love it, Brody. Honestly, it reminds me of my youth. But we are going to be heading into that map, and we said we liked it for the side of Exclusive. I don't want to say that we've seen too much of Animus on Slums, or at least not with some real strong opposition anyway. So I'm curious to see if we are going to see much from them here on Slums at this moment in time. It feels like exclusive series, at least, to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen exclusive twice on Slums, I believe, and they won both of those pretty convincingly. It was actually probably a stellar record, we'll say, at 250-3 against underdogs, if you remember that one. That was not fun if you're an underdogs fan. I always say if you're a fan of X Team, but I don't think underdogs have any fans. And it was a 250-171 over the Special Suicide Squad. So exclusive are pretty proficient on Slums. And one thing I will say, I actually just went back to check it as well. We're talking about Kafilla and Shark not having a good game right now, not having a collection of good games for Animus. That's their SMG lineup. And I think right now you're kind of getting an idea as to why Animus is starting to fall behind exclusive a little bit. They're losing their kind of up-close fights on the hard point, inside the objectives. Animus have to step things up here if they do not want to lose the series versus exclusive.
We need to see a big one out of Animus yet. Needs to be a good start as well. It feels like a good start, and P2 spawns can really help out a case to try and bring a series back level if Animus can find it, but it's a long old game, it's hard point, so let's see which way it's going to go. Exclusive with a decent enough start. Spawns are just about in their favor, although a little bit of split, so both these two teams still fighting over this 40 seconds over towards P1. Animus first ones to get some decent time on the board with this hold.
P1's always a mixy hard point. So we wanted to see Animus step things up here, and they seem to have done that off the start of this game. Just do not let exclusive path that 50-yard line in towards the rotational battles. But as 3 kills come through now for exclusive, they might not have much of a choice in the matter. The last 20 seconds still worth fighting over, and exclusive seems to now be winning the fights.
Exclusive getting things up and running here. 10 seconds to go as we head our way over towards P2. There's going to be Animus towards these backside, but as you kind of rightly pointed out previously, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Yeah, you are closer, but also if you don't find those first couple of gunfights, you can kind of be spawn trapped, and that's potentially what could be happening to the side of Animus here. Exclusive starting to try and get some control. Are they going to be able to find the kills on top of it as well? Animus still towards this backside, and yet to really get a touch on the point.
I really would have loved to see Shark here hold his trigger just a little bit more. He could still be effective for Animus, but yeah, I mean, he probably makes the call there that, like, hey, off spawn, I'm going to wrap around towards the cafe side to see if I can actually do any damage, but he doesn't actually get anything for it. Fortunately, the rest of the squad do manage to win the gunfights towards the front of the hill and actually manage to get through. Gafilla, huge 3-piece of him here, is now Animus going to clear some space and finally get some time off the hill they rotated for, but you called it. I mean, exclusive there, holding the players in towards the back spawn as Shark finds 3. Animus, they lose actually a fair bit of time off the back of the hill for it.
Yeah, they flipped it around now as well. You can see exclusive over towards this back side. Maybe able to get the final 10 for it. They kind of need to here because now the rotation doesn't belong to you. The scrap time doesn't either. Exclusive still with the lead, of course, as we head over towards P3. And they will eventually get themselves over here. There's one player over here and he's going to be dealt with. So, oh, wow, all of a sudden, no Predator missile comes in. So the good work that Animus were able to put in over towards the previous hill, reaping the benefits over towards P3. Animus looking like they're going to be the team here. Neil does have the Tempest out as well to try and shut it down, but Kairu is going to do so much damage there, waste so much time with the Gravity Vortex gun. So much being brought to the table by both these two teams. Spy now bringing in the Death Machine. Can he find anything through the smoke? One is all he's going to get. Stays now with the Sparrow as well. It's so back and forth. It's so mixing. Nobody momentarily in control, but exclusive finally getting that touch they need.
And the thing I will say about this hardpoint is it does play very differently to how it played in Black Ops 2. The spawns are significantly closer, and you're seeing that right now with the way exclusive are constantly getting a chance to hit this hill over and over again. Animus finally offered a moment to brief here towards this hardpoint, but it is only a very brief moment as exclusive now going to be knocking at the door once again. Trades mostly in favor, but as I say that, exclusive come through for the back 10 seconds, and there are those spawns once more. Animus spawning in towards the backline for garage control. You can control this for a full 60, but maybe not when Caesar's inside with the equalizers.
Causing a lot of problems. Spy will find 2 as well, and now they're going to push through these equalizers, which are primed and ready to go. Spawn out though for the majority of the team. Marvel is, well, going to keep some players spawning towards the back side, some coming from the middle of the map, but the gunfights are going to really transpire of how things are going to go here. Neil can find 1 after the couple that do come from the side of Animus. Shark can find 1 back as well, but it's so back and forth. Neither team really with a whole load of control, but ultimately it's exclusive inside of the point. 40 seconds remaining here. Animus trying to find a way through. Neil just being a right pain. hard to find in this spot. But again, it's exclusive who come out on top.
That spot definitely didn't exist in Black Ops 2. Right? I'm fairly certain that definitely did not exist in Black Ops 2. Well, Neil saying that you can apparently teach an old dog new tricks. So exclusive now looking for some time off the back of that, finding their way through here. 20 seconds remaining on the hard point. Kairu trading right back through, but there's the kills coming through, and exclusive now finally able to hold on towards that hard point and the solid lead in this game. This is pretty much what happened in game number 1, but a complete flip of the script here as exclusive are now the ones in control once again. They are solidly in the lead in this game. P1 last time around, exclusive did manage to get a fair amount of time, and they then had to focus on rotation towards new. Animus now looking for that time to take away from exclusive.
It just feels like that first rotation was extremely scrappy, and it was exclusive who just came on top of the big team gunfights. But this time around it will be Animus. 45 seconds remaining here over towards P1. That's a big wipe as well. You can start thinking about the rotation over towards P2 very, very shortly. Big investment coming in from the side of Stays as well, just to try and reiterate that control. 35 seconds remaining here on the hill. Sour's trying to find a way through. Can only find the one. Kills being answered back from the side of Animus. And then some as well. Can't find them. The break does come through. Exclusive could get some time here.
You can't really afford to give this 20 seconds away. If you're Animus, you still need to invest into this one. Problem now is exclusive do have the rotation towards P2, so you got no choice but to just full send it towards this hard point. Maybe an investment coming out from Animus to make sure that this time doesn't go exclusives away, because this is a pivotal moment in the game. You lose control of this hill and the rotation, you basically lose full control over this game. So they will at the very least get in for the last 5 seconds of time, but now we are looking towards yet another hard point where exclusive gets touched first. They have 50 points to the good over Animus, and Animus are hitting this one around the back.
Yeah, 2 operators available here for the side of Animus as well. Shock is only just coming up. Kairu has just fallen. So if Animus wanted to use that to break these spawns, well, they're not going to need to necessarily. Says can find a couple. Zara's there to answer back with one, though, and exclusive holding it from the inside. It's kind of like fish in a barrel, though, and a Shark is going to be the one shooting. Well, you would have been in trouble had the equalizers hit. Spy will find a couple. Gravity Vortex gun out from the side, and Kairu just ringing it around the map. Finds a couple, and Animus will find that break through the backside. He might find a little more as well. Neil somehow walks through the black hole. We'll find one. Spy and Sour combining well now, and for the side of Animus, you're towards the back. 25 seconds to go. Exclusive are very much here.
Yeah, it feels like exclusive just a little bit better on the operators right now. 20 seconds still to go inside this hard point. Animus now getting those split spawns through. Sour goes towards the prize fighters to find some value, and in the end it looks like it should be Animus getting that scrap time. But we talk about kind of how much time Animus have actually gotten away off that hard point. What, they had 75 going into the kill. They walk away with about 20-25 seconds or so. They haven't done that much to close the deficit between themselves and exclusive at this point in time. And once again, exclusive will be the first team to touch in towards a new hard point. Can they read the spawns?
Spawns over towards the backside, so a little bit of a pinch setup, although only momentarily. Marvel gets taken down to the other, so at exclusive only have one direction to look, and the guns are firing hard towards that direction. Marvel can find a couple, though. The War Machine is out. Is this going to now be the catalyst for them to maybe get something going? Can find something else as well. The rest of the team now inside the point. The spawn's now there for exclusive, who are going to be there. Over towards the pinch, though, there is going to be some exclusive players pushing from the other side. Veer can find a couple, so really nice job from the side of exclusive. The kills still falling their way. Momentarily threatened, but still ultimately inside of the point.
And that leads advantage from the garage hold has definitely stayed now, and it looks to be getting even worse here as exclusive in control of the hard point. Trades now looking pretty good for Animus. You take the back 15 seconds if you can. Exclusive is still going to send a couple of players towards this time, if only not just to get the time off the back of the hill, but also to try and cut some players off coming off the spawn. Perhaps some manipulative spawns back in your favor. Spy, though, shot through the smoke. That means scrap time will be going in Animus's favor once again. 50-point advantage here, growing in favor of exclusive, but Animus, they should be the third team to touch.
I think for exclusive, this field out for Animus. It felt like the first time they've had a setup, and that one has been dashed entirely by the side of exclusive. Shots starting to come in from Via that are just causing so many problems for the side of Animus, and you can see already the Death Machine is out from Spy. Can only find one. The Hitmarkers were there, but not able to finish his dinner. Shark was able to find one to get his way through. Finds a second. Says then the door was open for him because of Shark. Will find a way through. 35 seconds remaining here over towards P4, and it's crucial time for Animus. That's how it feels anyway. The gunfight's still going their way as well. 30 seconds to play for. Feels like Animus need it, and they may well get it.
And they've put so many players in towards the hard point. That being said, now it's all down to just one player. Shark with the equalizers, probably the best operator you could have in this situation. players filtering through, and you take a load of freebies. Animus have done a stellar job at closing the deficit between the two teams, and they have stacked in towards this hard point. This definitely does feel like the easiest hard point on this map to hold right now. Animus, as I said, haven't quite managed to close the deficit. They are still 40 points down going into the third and final set, and they're losing the gunfights over by Nu. But this is still within reach if you're an Animus fan.
I mean, looking at the kills across the board, Animus are doing their very damnedest, but Spy has 45 after 2 rotations. Exclusive still in the lead, and Neil starting to try and add to that as well. The Tempest is out. Bit of a split spawn. The map is in a weird little spot for both these two teams to try and figure out, but Neil's so accurate. As per usual, Predator Missile is going to find a whole load of players. Gathilla and Says will fall. So Exclusive now with some really good time. 35 seconds or so remaining here over towards P1. The kill feed needs to be blue if you're Animus. You need to find a way through, but Cesar and Sky just combining so well. Exclusive, we're momentarily in control. Animus trying to fight back. They are still quite significantly behind Brody.
And they're still looking for it. Exclusive have managed to get a ton of time off the way of this hard point. Excuse me. Animus, you cannot let that happen. But they are starting to set up through this hard point. 10 seconds left. Sharks trying to manipulate the spawns in their favor. That is not happening, though. And all of a sudden, I think this has gone from an anchor situation to a situation where Shark needs to be the hero for Animus. He needs to find these kills. He's played silent for long enough. Spy has no idea he's here. Now finally the chance to Shark to go off. Can he find the value? Yes, he can against the first, but the trade is good. He's opened the door. Spawns now in favor for Animus here, Ton, and now they can get some time.
Oh, Gravity Vortex gun in this spot as well. Cover every single angle we can. Shots are good from the side of Animus. The kills, everything being brought out into the table. It's the kitchen sink and then some. Exclusive trying to pick their way in, but this 40 seconds for Animus, if they can hold on to the rest of it, will put them right within touching distance, but the kill's starting to go the other way. Exclusive have got through what felt like 3 different operators. Gathilla is there to answer back all on his own, finds 3. Needs to find a whole lot more, though. The rest of Exclusive finding a way through. Spy with 2 pistol kills, whips out the Odin, has another, and here's the death machine. Spy's lighting them up. Everybody from Animus spawning in front, but Exclusive find a way to get into the point and then dealt with again. Animus too close for them to really try and finish that game off. Animus still within touching distance in this game. Spy trying his damnedest with 53 kills, but Animus survived. But the rotation belongs to Exclusive. You've got to get across the map very quickly.
Yeah, that's the big problem here. You've not got the rotation. Spy's 5-piece sends Animus for a real whirl, and now you're starting to lose the rotational battles as well. The grace period is over. Now you have to hit the front of the kill.
And they managed to find a way through. Exclusive starting to light them up, and they feel they can smell a grand final. Animus have just really been that monkey on their back. He's been thrown into the river as Exclusive get themselves to that grand final. A wonderful win from them in 3-1 victory over Animus to send them to tomorrow with that advantage. That is a humongous series from Exclusive, and it will feel like a nice one. Animus defeated.
Yeah, just phenomenal performance from Exclusive there in that game. What was it, 50-point advantage at the end of the first set off the back of that garage hold, and from there it never really felt like that was diminished. Even when we saw a solid hold from Exclusive, I think it was from Animus, excuse me, over by, was it Garage Hill in the second set? We saw them get control of it for basically the entirety of the time. Even that was not good enough. As we saw them at that just advantage just never ever wavered. So many solid moments there for Exclusive where they got control of the rotation over and over again. I think you made the call right. I think it was the garage hardpoint where for the first time it felt like Animus had actually had a setup worth talking about. Even thinking back to it, it never felt like, maybe outside of the final hardpoint there, or the penultimate hardpoint I should say, right, where Spy did get that phenomenal 5 or 6 piece. Only then did it ever feel like Animus got anything going. Just were not winning the rotations, and Exclusive, I mean, they're going to take advantage of that all damn day long. Just brilliant play from Exclusive, and I think Spy's 5-piece there was the cherry on the icing on the cake.
Oh, incredible. I mean, we'll see the final total for the last map because it would have been something special. Spy, I mean, just flying. And this just, as you said, like when we got over towards P3, it put them in such a difficult position to win the game from there. 55 on Animus's forehead. And just massively outslayed Exclusive. Dominant across the entire... I mean, I say massively outslayed. It really was just Spy. 20 positive.
You know, aren't they so glad that they brought Spy back to the starting lineup for this team? Huh? You know, they did not play that. I believe, anyway, I could totally be wrong here. This could be total waffle, but I believe they did not play the first match of the season with Spy. So for a spy to finally be in the roster, the right decision here, and I think it certainly has made the difference versus Animus. Exclusive, looking good for it, and they are now in the grand finals. I will say, though, just one thing here real quick. This happened last time around. This happened last season. Exclusive beat Animus in the upper bracket final, and then they lost the grand finals. It could happen again.
I mean, if you want to speak this into existence, I don't know. I feel like Ton, you said that this could be the situation that Exclusive would be looking for before we even got into this matchup, because now they do have that one map advantage. So between the two of you, I don't know who has scarier future speaking power right now.
I think it's hard to say, though, because it was such a good win as well, though, for Exclusive, that one, isn't it? I know tomorrow is a completely different day, but I want to say as well from the get-go, I wasn't massively impressed by Animus in their first series of the day. They came into this one maybe a little bit flat as well. Maybe they can say to themselves, right, well, thank God we got tomorrow to at least have our other chance to go up against Exclusive. But that was a really comfortable win, realistically speaking. Yes, okay, I know the control kind of went to a final map. The S&D was very one-sided towards Animus, but there is more than just S&D in these series, and every other map was pretty comfortable, I want to say, for the side of Exclusive. If that's going to be the case heading into a grand finals, they'll feel super, super confident. I mean, that was a very, very good performance.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. This is a far cry from the team that started off the season surprising everybody by going out to Queens. So I think that Exclusive have absolutely nailed down their performance as a squad. And now they're sitting there in grand finals, definitively one of the teams who will be competing for the title of the best in the region. And like everybody just saw on that bracket, obviously Animus is not out of it yet. Tomorrow, when we come back for day 2 of our challenge finals, we'll first get through that first lower bracket match between Suicide Squad and Vanquish, and then whoever wins between S Cubed and Vanquish will move on to have to play against Animus, and then whoever wins that match will then make their way into the grand final. So still 3 more matches on the schedule for tomorrow, and with what we saw out of all 3 of those teams here today, I think it's going to be super close between S Cubed and Vanquish. And then if we get a rematch of Animus versus S Cubed and Animus is lagging behind and S Cubed steps it up even just half a step more, Brody, we could get something crazy.
I want to believe. I want to believe in the storyline. I want to be like,
There's much hope,
S Cubed can come through. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I feel like, honestly, this is where I'm at right now, and I don't want to put a damper on it, but I feel like Animus and Exclusive are very far ahead of everybody else. Like, even Vanquish got totally trolleyed by Exclusive. Like, I don't necessarily think there's any way in for either of them. But look, I could be wrong. Maybe SSS and Vanquish set things up tomorrow. I certainly don't think Vanquish played that well today. And I will say this much. Bring Kuda on the lineup tomorrow, but please play with Kuda tomorrow. There's no reason for Kuda not to be playing. If they play with Kuda, they'll be much better off.
All right, well, chat, it's going to be a day you have to at least see, okay? So make sure you are tuning back in tomorrow for the conclusion of our challenge finals in EU. If you're unable to make it, of course, you can just follow us on social media. That way you'll be able to keep up to date with everything we've got going on. We've got X, Insta, and Facebook. Or, of course, you can join our Discord at discord.gg/Snapdragon Pro Series, where you can join our community, talk all things Call of Duty Mobile, and, of course, continue getting all of those updates, because this is an action-packed weekend when it comes to Call of Duty Mobile. If you want even more today, we've got more action later on in the day with North America getting into their first round of the challenge final matches. So there's a lot going on all weekend long, so make sure you're sticking around to stay up to date with absolutely all of it. As always, a huge thank you to Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL for helping us make this whole show possible. And chat, a huge thank you to you for sticking with us throughout the entire challenge season and now here in the challenge finals and watching all weekend long to see who is the best at the end of the weekend. As far as we go for today, that's all we've got. Hopefully we'll see you back here tomorrow for the conclusion of it all.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL.
Looks like the players are ready. Here we go!
Don't stop, gotta get it going. Keep it moving.